Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is your boy Doc Holiday. We're back with another HBCU OverDrive Live. It's the post game show. Actually, the last post game show for the football season. But if you haven't done it by now, make sure you like the stream. It's free to do. Make sure you comment, share, and most of all, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. I'm gonna go ahead and get this invite going on right now. Trying to see who's all in the chat, who's watching. If Mr. Ford is on, I don't know if Mr. Ford is going to be on, but I like to get him on. Let me see something. Let me get this. Yeah, I just got to the house not too long ago, so y'all have to excuse me. Um, but yeah, put in the chat what you think about the game. What y'all think about the play calling? We got Mr. Ford. Hold on, Mike. Mr. Ford, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Everything is good.
Oh
Everything is
yeah,
good.
oh yeah.
I will say this: if y'all don't think that was one of the best games,
Yes,
greatest games that you had not seen from an
yes,
HBCU standpoint, y'all tripping.
right.
Y'all tripping. That if they wanted to do that, bro, they need to make that an instant classic.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Because that's what that game was right there, y'all.
It's dominated the airways ever since the game been over. They've showcased it. They've talked about Central. They've talked about Dion. They've shown the highlights. That kid from Marshall, that tight end that dropped the ball in the overtime period, that's
Yeah.
gonna follow him for the rest of his life.
And let me. Thank you for bringing that up with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it just like this for everybody that's in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, but everybody that's going on this kid's Facebook, or not Facebook, but Twitter or even Instagram page. Y'all remember, he is still a young man. He is still a kid.
Right. Right.
He is a kid still.
Yeah.
You have to understand what transpired tonight, earlier today, with him dropping that pass. It's gonna be in his head, because that is something that you would call that's something that we don't you don't need to do. You
Yeah,
don't need
that will never be forgotten. That's probably the biggest game in his life. He came from Marshall. I saw him catch that same pass in the FAMU game. Now, to
Right.
me, and I'm not making excuses, he looked rusty. Now, I've been asking about him the whole year, and they've been saying he was hurt. The way he tried to snag it, he looked rusty. He looked like he, just getting back or something.
Yeah, I think he was getting back into the swing thing.
Yeah, he looked rusty. He looked rusty. He really did.
So
But now I'm gonna say this: I don't believe that one play wins it or lose it. There was so many things in that game. That just happened to be at the end of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, if anybody that think that this was not the game of the year,
that was the game of the year.
Sports, y'all are tripping.
That's the best celebration ball I was in person at 4 of the Celebration Bowl games. That's the best I've seen.
Yeah, that people is tripping. Let's see. Somebody asked me how many views you think. I don't even know how many views I got. All I know is I got enough to where I'm trying to get this thing, get the money for it. But let's go into let's go into the beginning of the first quarter. Trey Oliver came out and kind of threw one a look. I want to say a haymaker, but he kind of hit you with a hook shot. It like kind of hit us with a hook shot with the fake punt.
Oh yeah. Well, he had scouted. He had scouted him. To be honest with you, I think that somebody had told him. Because it was kind of like South Carolina State last year. It was obvious that they put together a game plan for Jackson, but they had gotten information from other teams, and that's what happened on that punt. That's been a problem with Jackson on that punt. They've been successful to fake punts all year, and they haven't made the adjustment. And I'm quite sure that when he took his notes, or that somebody, because now let me tell you something. Trey's from the SWAC now. Trey was at Southern for a number of years. He was Dawson Odom's defense coordinator. And so you can't tell me somebody from down in that SWAC ain't told him something now. Yeah, because he had an excellent game plan today, just like they did South Carolina State had one last year. He had an excellent game plan.
But that was a good game plan.
Oh, it was an excellent game plan.
So as always, I'm gonna put on here, North Carolina Central, the HBCU national champs.
Yeah, without a doubt. Listen, and the way they look with the people they got coming back, might do it again next year.
They might do it again next year.
But the thing that impressed me the most about North Carolina Central is that coaching staff. I saw 3 potential head coaches. The guy that's the offense coordinator, that guy's a potential head coach. The guy that people in Georgia know that guy that's the defense coordinator. Now what people don't know, that guy was with Kirby Smart for at least 2 or 3 years. Okay. Yeah, he lost his job, I think, off of a DUI or something, but he was with Kirby. Okay. The most impressive guy tonight was that guy who was coaching that offensive line. That's the best offensive line that I've seen all year. Man, now what they was killing Jackson with was what we used to call wedge blocking, where your linemen come together and form a shield and then move either to the right, left, or straight. They was killing Jackson with that. Oh, they was killing Jackson with that. And then the one-on-one blocking and the pass blocking, whoever is the offensive line coach for NCCU, that guy is going to go bigger. I'm telling you. You'll see he going to go bigger. Because listen, one of them offensive linemen got hurt. They brought a freshman in from Burns. Burns is a big-time high school in South Carolina. They didn't lose a step, huh?
Yeah, it's in Duncan, South Carolina.
Yeah, Burns is always top 10 every year. But I'm telling you, man, Trey put together a staff, man. He has put together somebody's right. This is the worst officiated Celebration Bowl I've ever seen in my life. This was the worst one. That officiating crew we had today was terrible. Now, what conference were they from? So, does anybody know? Because they usually don't use SWAC officials in the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, they don't use neither conference officials for bowl games. They use a neutral.
Yeah, I was wondering where were they from because they were terrible. Now, Jay Walker pointed out one play. It was 3 penalties should have been called. They didn't call not one.
Right.
Oh, the officiating was terrible today. Oh, they were from the MAC. Somebody said they were from the MAC. Ellen and Johnson. Oh, they were from the MAC.
Oh shoot, they was terrible.
Yeah, they was terrible. Oh, they was bad all day.
Yeah, for both teams, especially for Central, they had eight penalties called on them
Yeah.
for 86 yards, and then Jackson State only had 6 for 55. Some of the stuff was self-inflicted, y'all.
Oh yeah. Listen, that's what I'm saying about that game plan. They knew soon as Shadur came in the game, they went at him, and they knew Shadur can't cover. I'm not Shadur. I'm sorry, Shallow. They
Shallow.
went directly at Shallow. Soon as he came in the game, they had a game plan for him. That's how I know. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I know some people. Listen, they got inside tips, man. I'm telling you, man. They got inside tips, man. Yeah, they got it. Because as soon as Shallow came on the field, they went at him. As soon as he stepped on that field, they went after him.
Yeah, but yeah, because they went after him. Yeah, they went after him. They basically came in with a game plan.
Yes, they did. They came with a game plan.
They really didn't come with a game plan. I mean, they came with the game plan. They came with their usual game plan. But you really think about it, throughout the game, they doing adjustments. They doing you know what I'm saying, in-game adjustments, knowing that our bread and butter is to blitz on defense.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Our bread and butter is blitz on defense.
Right.
That's Dennis Thurman's thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, he's gonna live by it, he's gonna die by it. When you knew you was getting ate up with the blitz, that the off not necessarily from the receivers, but the offensive line, that offensive line is coming to kick your teeth in, then you have to change, you have to change it up. You have to change it up.
Yeah. And the thing tonight was that all the upheaval these last 2 weeks since that game against Southern in that SWAC championship game, I thought it would affect the offense, but the biggest effect was on the defense. It really affected the defense. The whole thing of Gaddy not playing, that threw them off. Then they lost their composure. That boy number 42 lost his. I thought when he hit that quarterback, when Brown hit that quarterback, he did the cheap shot on the quarterback. I thought they would have taken him out because it was obvious he had lost his composure. You know, like Jerry Tartanian used to always say, you always look to see if they've lost their composure. That's when you know the game is won. Okay? Mm-hmm. And he had lost his composure. I figured DT and them would get him out the game, but then he did something else stupid, and then they threw him out of the game.
Yeah, I'm going to bring somebody else in. What's going on, Michael? Yeah, I had to tell you have to turn your camera off, like stop the cam.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. But yeah, if you look at it all the way through, even with Jackson State having a lead at halftime, so everybody got to remember, we had the lead at halftime, 21-17.
Yeah,
now, I said my score at the time. I picked my score was supposed to be 20, was going to be 31-17. I didn't. I missed out on it. I missed out on it. You know what I'm saying?
I had 35-17.
So, but Central did what they normally do, and they didn't have to change nothing up.
No, they're smash mouth team. They're typical MEAC team.
They did though. Mr. Ford touched on something, Doc. Did you see the Trey Oliver post-game conference?
I didn't get a chance because I was too busy on the bus trying to get this stuff ready for tonight.
Mr. Ford, you touched on it, Mr. Ford. The me at Buddy Podum got together with him.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They got together with him with strategy.
Yeah,
and you touched on that, and I thought that was important.
Yeah,
and also like you said, Doc, once he would have to beat me through the air, Doc, not running.
Right. You have the better athletes on the outside. You got
Right. Yeah.
Nugget played, Travis played, John Huggins played, Cam he played.
Cam got beat up tonight, so man, let me tell you something. They got beat. They took him to the woodshed tonight. They let him know he too small. See, that MEAC football is a physical brand. It's smash mouth football. And you can tell they live in that weight room. See, the SWAC is more finesse. We're about air attacks. The SWAC is about four wides, air raid, what we call a spread offense. The what's the name is about them big offensive linemen coming down on you. Like I told you, they did a magnificent job of wedge blocking, run blocking, and pass protection. We see in the SWAC, we don't put an emphasis on wedge blocking and run blocking. That's not our thing. We are a finesse league. We like to throw the football.
Yeah, and then when people say, pundits say, well, we don't pass block, well, we don't have capable quarterbacks. And that's the reason why Jackson State can go on, they can go 16-0 in the conference because your quarterbacks can't do anything. I mean, by any chance, my whole thing is when it comes down to it, who's the QB coaches at these schools? Who's the offensive coordinator at these schools? At these said schools right here in the SWAC, and what do they need to do in order for them to get their level of play?
They got to be in you, Doc. They got to be in you. If it's not, take Lamar Jackson, right, Doc, and take Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts made the correct mechanical changes in his throwing in his game.
Yeah, he did.
You see tremendous improvement. You see improvement in Lamar Jackson game, but not enough improvement. This is why we look at the quarterbacks today, Shedeur Sanders, the Bryce Youngs. These dudes are more mechanic intact because they had the training from little kids on up.
Right.
And that makes a bigger difference.
Yeah.
And
one of the things I saw tonight was I gave them four names that I would like to see come in the SWAC as head coaches. One is Jay Hobson. I wish we could get him back. I wish we could get Sam Washington, who just they fired at A&T. I hope that this guy Chinnis Berry comes into the SWAC. And it was somebody else I was thinking. I don't know if we can get him, but he's the quarterback coach at Texas A&M. His name is Damon Craig, I think it is.
Oh yeah,
I was hoping that we could get them guys, and because I told people this last year. I said, listen, at the end of the season, the number one thing that the SWAC had to clean up was the officiate. The number one thing this year, we've got to get quality championship coaches. We got to have championship offensive coordinators, defense coordinators, and we got to get championship position coaches. We don't have that. That's our biggest problem.
I don't see it happening, Mr. Ford. I don't see it happening for the failure to do business, to understand how to construct contracts. It don't take a lot of money, right? It don't take a lot of money, but it takes understanding how to construct a contract and where the money comes from. And that's the issue that not just SWAC, but HBCUs are having a problem with. HBCUs, between the MEAC and the SWAC, they lost $1 billion plus last year, right? Now take today, what happened today. I don't know if you're familiar with, this supposed to have been a national televised game, right?
It was national televised.
No, every market didn't have the game.
What?
No, every market didn't have the game. So what does that mean?
Tell me what market didn't have the game, because I promise you this game was nationally televised.
Check, bro. Check. They was complaining about it. Check, bro.
Well, I'd like for you to explain how we lost $1 billion. You said we lost $1 billion? $1
billion last year, yes.
Talk about that a little bit. Expound on that.
Okay. I'm going to explain to you right now what happened today. They can say a game is nationally televised, right? And they do this with Puffy and Magic Johnson TV channel. Your game could be nationally televised, but they don't have your game, say, in certain markets. When your game not being shown in certain markets, you don't get that sub-market money. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You take like Puffy. Puffy is a hip-hop figure, right?
Uh-huh.
He would do well in Philly. With the youth, he would do well. But Comcast made sure he didn't get Philly. Comcast set them up to fail. That's why Byron Allen sued them. And that's what happened today with the national televised game. When you don't get all the markets, you don't get all the money.
Well, I didn't know. I thought it was not only that, because, last year, my cousin saw the South Carolina State Jackson game. They went Korea. They saw the game over there.
I was watching the game and people was complaining that they couldn't see the game. What channel the game on? It's not being shown on
ABC. It wasn't on ESPN. It was on,
right,
it was on ABC.
Well, ESPN and ESPN on ABC on ESPN. It's the same.
Right, that's right. Disney owns all of it.
Disney owns all of it. It's the same people.
Yeah.
So, but they can say a national televised game and not have a certain game in your market. That means you don't get the sub money for that market that day, for that hours that game wasn't shown. These are the type of game. This is the type of business that the television stations play. They did it with Kathy Hughes or TV One.
Yeah, I remember Kathy Hughes. Yeah,
they did it with They did it with Magic. They did it with Puffy. You understand what I'm saying? They keep them out of certain. Even though they're supposed to be national televised, they keep them out of certain markets. That means you don't get certain subtitle money. That's what that means. So that's what's been going on. It's not this game, but that's what they've been doing with black TV ownership. Now you said speak on what, Mr. Ford?
You were saying that we lost $1 billion last year.
$1 billion. Take for instance, Mr. Ford. Mississippi had what? 8% on a dollar, right? On tax, is 8% on a dollar. Taxes. I mean, Mississippi brought in what last year? I mean, last year they brought in $35 million, right?
Okay. From
JSU football related business. You take that 8% going to what? 32. So you figure if it's 35%, it's 8% on that 35. You talking about maybe 4,000 businesses that did business and paid tax revenue in the Jackson State area. That revenue goes to about almost 700 million from the hotels, the restaurants, the bars, all this revenue coming in out of 35 million. The problem is, if that's true, due to your contracts that's locking you out, you leave 4.3 billion on the table. Why? Because your contracts lock you out. You have bad contracts. So now, by you leaving that money on the table, you can't grow because you're not getting the money you're supposed to come. You don't have the right TV deal. You don't have the right ticket sale. In Jackson, Mississippi, a ticket is what? $35, right?
Right.
When you go to an Ole Miss game, it's $65 and up. The mid-level seats are $141. The top level seats go with $2,000. The luxury boxes go for $35 million. You see the difference? Now you see the difference in price.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now by your tickets being underpriced, your merchandise being underpriced, you're not in the competitive economic market. You're not getting.
So you what do you want Jackson State to hack the prices, to take the prices up?
Your ticket, everything to go in the competitive market.
Okay.
You don't have a competitive market. Now, Coach Prime, did you see Coach Prime speaking thing yesterday? We talking about change. Did you see that?
No, I missed. I didn't miss. I was at school.
And I'm glad he brought that up. What he was doing, remember I said last week, by Jackson State dominating at 60,000 or 50,000, the other schools are not able to dominate because they're not getting the players, one. Two, they don't have the fan base. So now you have an unparalleled market. Prime want all the schools to do well. Why? It drives football revenue. It drives the market. You can't have one school with 50,000 and everybody else with 5,000. You have an competitive market. It's not going to drive your resources up. It's not going to drive your economics up. You're in an unfair advantage. So Prime said yesterday, if he keep dominating in the SWAC, he see resentments from other people that's in HBCU. He see the resentment because he's getting the talent to dominate. So that's why I made a statement this morning. They said, but he didn't. I said, yeah, he didn't win the SWAC last year. He didn't win it this year. But for him to be there 2 years, you see the growth at JSU.
Hey, I'm gonna make, like I said, I'm gonna make a show for that. Probably gonna be on Tuesday. That's my off day right there. But I want to kind of continue going on as far as for the football game, and then try to go on for like what's what's next. So I got another guy in here named Randy. Randy, what's going on, man? I turned your mic on. You can talk in.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
what you think about the game tonight?
Yeah, I was just watching the game and just was just saying that there was some things that was happening that it just looked like it just wasn't for them today. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't going to go their way and stay there.
Right.
But I also noticed that Jackson State's defensive line was depleted.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Reynolds didn't play.
You got 3 kids that went into the portal.
Big Country didn't play.
Katron Evans.
Didn't play.
Katron Evans, Michael Pless, all them went into the portal.
Right.
Yeah.
So
then you turn around, you got Niles Gaddett, who got suspended for the game, which I don't understand. I mean,
they said he was like late. It's like
he was late. They say he was late for 1 minute.
They suspended Shallow. They suspended Shallow and 2 other boys last week, didn't they?
Yeah, yep.
So they consistent.
Yeah.
They consistent.
Yeah. I get that though. I get
they consistent. As long as you consistent all year long,
right.
Then you can't I can't complain because you're consistent with everybody.
Right. That's true. It's true.
Well, let me say this. The first drive, one thing I saw in the first drive was how dominant North Carolina Central's offensive line was going to be. When they came off that football, they had a big run by that. Was it Collier? I think it was number 5.
But first pass.
It was obvious that North Carolina Central's offensive line was going to be dominant all day. They from the opening drive, they were just dominant.
Yeah.
They were dominant.
But you know what else I saw? I just saw that North Carolina Central was well prepared, man.
Yes, they were.
Like they had a game plan
like
no other. You know, and like the first pass, they went straight at Travis. The middle of the series, they was like running the ball. Like I was wow. Okay.
But he said why he did that though. He said why he did that to keep Shador off the field.
Right.
See, the problem is Shador, when they get the ball, they score fast.
Right.
So you didn't take no clock. And this is why I was upset. Because the tight end Stevens, instead of the white guy, and not to take nothing for the white guy because he's part of the team. Stevens should have been in that position to catch the ball. He catches everything.
Was he in the game?
The white boy was at the wing tight. Stevens was at the tight. He was at the wing tight. That's the same play they scored on against FAMU. He just looked rusty. That guy been hurt all year. Like you said, maybe they should have had Stevens at the wing tight.
Right.
Because that boy looked, what's his name, Hagler? He looked rusty.
Yeah. Right. He's a good player, though.
Yeah, he transferred from Marshall.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Yeah, but it's crunch time, and Stevens scored the first touchdown. And I've been saying this all year long. If you use your tight end to get 4 and 5 yards,
Mhm.
That means you controlling the clock, you moving the chains. But
Right.
Shador scores so fast, and a team like this, and like Buddy Pugh said, run the ball, keep them on the sideline.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep them on the sideline. We keep getting first downs. They ate North Carolina Central ate up the whole first quarter.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got one more question. Can
Yeah, go ahead.
someone tell me now that the season's over, nothing to hide anymore, what happened to Malachi Wideman this year?
Malachi didn't even make the trip.
What happened though?
Well, I think that Malachi started out with grade problems.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think Malachi might have got in the doghouse because of the fact he played basketball. I don't think they wanted Malachi to play basketball. They wanted him in the weight room. And he decided to go. The guy was a coach at Callaway. He played, not this guy that's here now, but he played for the coach who was relieved of his job after last basketball season.
Yeah.
And I don't think they wanted him to mess with basketball. I think they wanted him to, put grades first and then work, get in the weight room and work. And he didn't do it.
Is he in school still?
Yeah, he's in
What's that?
school. He's played in some games this year.
Yeah, he played games.
I know that,
but
like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
No, but if you really think about it, like he played games.
Yeah, he's played.
But he's been used sparingly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, you got, like, if he's on the field. I'm sorry, if he's on the field, you got a 3-headed monster. You can have him both. You got Hooks and Wyman on the outside. You can have Kevin Coleman playing the slot.
Yeah.
Dallas Daniels could play the slot. Dallas Daniels can go to any position on the wide receiver. He can run every route on the wide receiver tree.
Yeah. And number 10, what's his name?
Willie Gaines. Willie Gaines.
He didn't really play it. Did he play today? They've been limiting his play.
I think I seen him one time,
and he was a big play guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
don't see it.
And then I saw Shiloh returning punts.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, what are they doing?
But Shiloh, but I'm gonna tell you about Shiloh. Shiloh, when he was in high school, he did return kicks and punts.
He ain't no punt returner though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That ain't his duty. But as far as the kick returns, pretty much Kevin Coleman run everything.
Yeah.
But for punting, Central didn't even punt the ball.
You know what? You're right.
Well, they punted one time, like you said. Shiloh was back there. They did punt one time.
Okay, I'm about to say. I'm looking. I'm like,
yeah, they did punt one because Shiloh was back there for them.
And then one, they were still backed up. Maybe they were trying to defend it fake or something. I don't know because they was pressuring.
D-Law, you asked me who was 42. 42 was Jeremiah Brown, man.
Yeah, Brown.
I don't know what. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this. I don't know what was going on with him.
I do.
Up.
Yeah, I was about to say he got them linemen was beating him and chipping him.
Yeah, other than getting mauled by the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what he lost his composure.
Yeah,
they was hitting him high and low. He just lost.
Yeah, he lost.
You know, they haven't faced an aggressive offensive line like that.
Oh, that was the best one they faced all year. That was the best offensive line they faced all year.
Yeah.
Like I told him, whoever the guy is, the offense line coach for North Carolina Central, that guy is worth big money.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, that guy is really good.
Yes,
them guys was fundamentally sound.
And they were nasty.
Yes. Whoever that guy is, the offensive line coach, I'm telling you, they might lose him. Yeah. They might lose him.
I'm going to tell you this, Mr. Ford. They didn't beat them with regular North Central plays. So they weren't predictable.
Oh.
JSU was predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they seen it before.
we're gonna be predictable because the prediction is basically not shot, but Shador gonna throw the ball 40, 35, 40 times a game.
That
You
ain't,
know what
that
I'm
ain't a
saying?
problem, though. That ain't a problem, Doc. If you throw the game ball 40, 34 times a game, the thing is, you got to mix
How
up the
you do
different
it?
receivers.
Right.
Well,
And he don't think
we were always taught to be balanced because if you get one dimensional, a good defense will stop you. You got to be able to run and throw. We always believe that you have to be balanced.
Yeah. But
and Mr. Ford, so how do you now you see North Central speed, right?
Yeah.
And the penetration. How do you stop the penetration, offset it? Dig routes and quick passes.
right.
Tight end, flankers, or
Right.
slots. Your quick
Yeah.
pass of 3 or 4 yards offset the speed.
Right.
They didn't do that. So now he's steady trying to go down the field looking for, and it's taking too much time looking down the field that
Right.
to get rid of the ball in 3 to 4 seconds. That changed. The defense got to change now.
Right.
Now,
I was
now
about to get to this question from Sean Green. I guess they asked about who Miller was talking about. The guys left the team, and he's basically talking about Big Country.
Yeah. Katron
Michael
Evans,
Yeah.
Michael Pless, that crew.
He was talking about them. He was talking about them because he felt like you got to understand. Aubrey wanted to win this game. He had a sour taste in his mouth last season. He decided to come back. He didn't go back into the transfer portal to go to another school. This kid stayed at Jackson State solely so he could get back to the Celebration Bowl to win the Celebration Bowl and not win it for pride. He wanted to win it for the school.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Memphis.
He's from Memphis.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
He's from Memphis. He wanted to win. He wanted to win this game for the school. He wanted to win it for the school, for the fans, for the student body. His head is already in one place. Like y'all think about this with Aubrey Miller. Aubrey Miller basically grew up from what you saw in the spring of 2021 of last year,
mm-hmm.
and he humbled himself. The
year
coaches
before that,
he humbled himself,
mm-hmm.
and the way he going about, like, look, he's telling them, look, I'm the leader. I want to be the leader of this team, and I ain't gonna say it by words. I'm gonna do it by my actions.
Yeah, but I think he came a long way with his maturity. You can tell. You can tell Prime and that staff really worked out with him.
And when you like I said, when you look at the documentary and you start seeing it for yourself about how you was acting at that time, then it's like, damn, I really was acting like a fool.
Yeah.
And I got to change it up, because if I don't change it up, then I'm not going to be able to last long right here.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about this is with Aubrey is like he is passionate about playing the game of football, because he feel like this is going, I ain't saying going to feed his family, but it's his dream. Yeah. It's not nobody else's dream, it's his dream.
Question.
Yeah.
Where do you think he goes in the draft if he gets drafted?
It all depends on what he doing. It all depends on how he does in his combine and during these all-star circuits.
Well, he definitely gonna have to. He definitely.
I think he's up for a position change.
Today was an audition for him today, so he had to do well in the Senior Bowl and he had to do well in the combine.
Right. But the Senior Bowl is coming up,
right?
But the thing that I see for him, he's going to be changed to a pass rushing end. He's going to be a stand-up pass rushing end.
Yeah,
he too short. He's not.
Aubrey's Harvard like 6'1",
athletic
6'2".
enough.
But he got he reminds his game is reminiscent of James Harrison or Greg. Remember Greg Lloyd?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
He
you know
kind of
that's
reminds you of that
Steelers.
guy, but he's not going to be an inside linebacker in the NFL. He's
Nah.
not that.
you know where I see him. I see him as like a special teams, like he just going crazy on special teams.
Yeah, I could see that. But as far as on the defense, I see him as a stand-up pass rushing in.
If the
I'm looking at
I don't know.
I'm looking at how they
You
did
know,
with James Houston. It's the
I was
same
going to
Yeah,
say,
way.
that's what I'm saying. He's the same
he's
guy.
too stiffer for me. I mean,
I was going to
'cause
say they're going to have to
those-
sell him as a James Houston, a second coming of James Houston. That's how
nah,
they're going to have to sell him.
he ain't Houston.
No, we
He-
understand it. No, the
he-
second coming of a James Houston, saying
Right.
that he had that potential if you develop him. He had that potential to be a standout player.
Right.
Now let me tell you that the ideal team for him would be the Steelers. With the system they run, that would be now the guy who would really love him and would turn him into a star was Marvin Lewis. If Marvin Lewis but he's more, to me, he's like a Steeler. Now I don't know. Do y'all remember Dom Capers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now
I'm a
Dom would
Steelers
turn
fan.
him out. Dom would turn him out. And I'm telling you, he would be an outside stand-up pass rushing in. That's what Dom would have him doing.
Or like the Ravens or something.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
like
two
Ravens,
people-
yeah. That would be ideal for him.
Yeah.
Two people go at guys like him. Three. The Denver, the Steelers, and the Kansas City Chiefs like that style of play you talk about, Mr. Ford. I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
that's what I
quick
said. He
play-
would fit in great
Yeah.
with the Steelers. They would take time with him, be patient with him, and they develop him.
That
Right.
Von Miller type.
Yeah,
But
that's him.
I just don't see him as the athlete. I mean, he's a kid that sees it, gets it. You know what I mean? But if anything, because what I saw today, what I saw against what's that team? The FBS team that they played.
Talking about Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, like if a lineman is bigger and he gets in front of him, he gets blocked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he's not that athlete to be able to like to dip or to like he has to use his strength.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna get to these stats right here. So, and y'all see, man, it's been on here for the longest. Shador, 75% completion,
He was
30
wrong.
349, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, the only thing that killed them was taking those sacks. But I always say, like Shador, you got to stop holding on to the ball.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Holding on to the ball because holding on to the ball, those defensive ends was fast.
Yeah,
Discipline too.
yeah.
Discipline.
They were fast. Like it's like as soon as he took a 3-step or a 4-step drop, they was down there already in the backfield with him.
Yeah,
And that's my point, Doc.
They were
Doc.
fast.
That's my point, Doc. What you just said. That's my point. What you just said. As soon as he take that 3-4 step, Doc, that ball should be coming out to the tight end or the slot back. The offset the speed other tight ends.
but they was on it though. I mean, that wasn't really available until they started doing like the hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Because
and I'm saying like Regalia, yes. Just throw the ball away. Throw it away. You don't see nobody down the field. If your check down is being away.
yeah,
Ain't no need for you to take a 8 to 10 or 8 to 15 yard sack that puts you in positions of a 2nd and 15 or a 2nd and 25 or 3rd and 18 and with such down the distance like that.
Mm-hmm.
Throw the ball away. That's all you need to do. Throw it away.
Yeah, he's got to learn that.
Yeah,
He's got to
I'm gonna
learn
tell
that.
you something. Shador will get better.
Yeah, he will.
Once he gets in a better quarterback room. Like once he gets somebody that's behind him that is maybe just as good, you know what I mean? Because he knew that he was never coming out the game. You know what I mean? So he didn't have to watch his mistakes. You know what I mean? He became a playmaker. Like he thought that he had to make every play.
And he did.
Right.
But the thing is, a quarterback like Shador not coming out the game unless he turn the ball over. You're not coming out the game if you don't turn the ball over.
All right. So
you think wait a minute, time out. Wait a minute. Before y'all think he coming out the game if he turn the ball over? You think he coming out, especially a big game like this? I don't think so.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like a consistent turnover. I'm not talking about this one play. I'm talking about somebody constantly throw interceptions.
Oh man, look, if you're constantly throwing interceptions, you are coming out of the game.
Yeah, you'll come out the game. But if he ain't a turnover quarterback, which he's not, but the next level where he's going to, after he get hit a couple times, he gonna figure it out. You don't have that long window open.
Yeah, he makes the adjustment. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, he better than any of them quarterbacks we got for the Falcons right now. I'll take him over them folks right now. And especially when we had Matt Ryan. Because now one thing about Shador Shador's a baller.
Yes, he is.
Because he didn't give up today. They was hitting his behind, but he didn't give up.
Yeah.
You know, he did everything. I ain't had no problems with Shador today.
No.
He was balling, man.
He was balling.
Man. He was balling.
Yeah.
They were short. Looking at them today, like they was in a state of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches was off. Watching North Carolina Central throw the screen on the right side and left side, offset their speed. So you know, they North Central did what they supposed to do.
Yeah,
they calculated, like you said, they talked to people. They had a game plan, and you just ain't coming in there
to prepare.
Right. So you ain't
like
coming.
I told you, I see, and that was just I saw 3 potential head coaches tonight on that North Carolina Central staff. I thought that boy that was the offensive coordinator, not that boy, but that man that's the offensive coordinator has head coaching potential.
Yep.
The guy that was the offensive line coach has head coach, and that darn defense coach. Because see, like I told you, the guy who is the defense coordinator, he was here in Georgia. He was a defensive line coach or something for UGA. We know him.
Yeah, they took chances. Yeah. Well,
that guy's been on the Kirby Smart. You know he knows some defensive football.
Mr. Ford, you only can be a head coach on an offensive coordinator, right? If you have the personnel. You understand what I'm saying? He had the personnel, so he was able, and I give him applause. They took chances. They didn't beat Jackson State straight up.
Nah.
They used schemes to beat Jackson State. That tells me how good Jackson State really is. And even though Jackson State played bad today, they were still in the game to win the game to the end.
Right. Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
So Sy'veon will say he didn't do too much today. They
nullified him. They nullified him.
They neutralized this man.
Yeah, they neutralized him. That defensive line.
I'm thinking they were gonna still run that 33 stack defense, and for some reason they switched it up and said, we're gonna run this 4 down lineman right here.
That's what happens when you got a month to prepare and you're able to watch every game that Jackson State played, and you break all that film down, and then you pick it up.
Don't forget the last team that beat them. Right, the last team that beat them was working with North Carolina Central to beat them today.
Ooh,
definitely not.
Yeah, all of them were here today. Buddy Pugh was here today. Sam Washington was here today. See, all of them guys on that North Carolina Central staff, all them guys have been on the Broadway. That's a family. That ain't just no coaching. Now, them guys are family.
Wow.
Broadway's at the game too.
Yeah, all of them was here. The staff down at Fort Valley State, they were here. All them people was with Broadway at A&T. See, Trey Oliver's worked for Broadway. The
Yeah, he
guy
said
that's
that
the
today.
defensive coordinator, he worked for Broadway. All them guys. Sam Washington was here. He was worked for Broadway. All them guys represented A&T's staff 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
He said it today. Yep. He said it today.
Yeah. And them guys ain't just no coaches. Them guys are family.
Yeah.
Listen, Mr. Ford, they wanted to beat not just JSU, they want to beat Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. They want to beat
Deion Sanders. That's what this thing is about.
Yeah.
But what Deion said yesterday, I don't know if you've seen it or heard it. He said, when we gone, y'all gonna miss us.
Yep.
It ain't gonna come out what we did for you. It ain't gonna come out till years later what we done for you.
Yeah.
But he also said this.
Yeah.
Until you get change and understand, to get an understanding what change means, you're not going to have change. You're not going to get change if you have an understanding of change.
I'm gonna say we're gonna move to the next person, Kevin Coleman. His boy had a game tonight.
Oh, he balled out today.
Bad ball.
He balled out.
Hey, guess what, y'all? He already announced on his Instagram he ain't going nowhere.
Right.
But they said
not transferring.
But they said that's not true though.
Huh?
They said he's gone already.
Blitz podcast put that out, man. Until I hear him say
he's already said that he was not going nowhere.
Blitz podcast said that. Until I hear him say
he put a personal statement out though.
Yeah, he put a personal
statement. Now supposedly his parents wanted him to stay too.
Okay.
Yeah, they said his parents wanted him to stay. But see, let me just tell you this. This thing at Jackson State can continue. There's only one key that has to be dealt with, and that is TC can't go get his homeboys. He's got to go get quality championship coaches.
Yes.
Not these guys you played with at Jackson, not the boys that went to Jackson. He's got to go get quality. Their resume must state that they were champions either at Division II, 1AA, 1A, high school, or what. But that resume got to say champion. We can't bring people in to learn how to coach at Jackson.
Right.
We got to bring people in that are already champions.
Mr. Ford, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Whoever he go get, right? Say he go get a championship coach from somewhere. Do you think they're gonna coach? They're gonna contact Deion Sanders to ask him what's going on at Jackson?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're gonna check with Deion.
To be honest with you, I think that what TC and them are gonna do is Deion will recommend people for them to get. I don't know if he's gonna get them, but Deion is gonna recommend people now.
You better listen to what he said on his conference yesterday, Mr. Ford. That documentary coming out will tell the story. That documentary might be so good that he won an Oscar for it.
But I think that's going to be more about what happened to him on the business side.
No, he talking about he talking about Jackson. He said, "How can you get change?" He said, "When you change, you got to talk about changing the whole school.
Exactly.
Not just the football,
right? Exactly.
But the academic, the facilities, the education, the dormitories.
Right.
You got to be able to lift up the whole school. Don't make it just about football.
Right.
And this one, and he said, until you understand change, you'll never have change.
Yeah.
Well,
they got too many infighting going on.
Well, all I know is I'm gonna say about this. I seen it. I don't know if it's right or not, but like I said, somebody said that he gone. They said somebody put out there said that he's staying, but I know a lot of kids that's leaving out. Aubrey is going into the draft.
Yeah, Nugget is going. Yeah,
Zay is going to the draft.
Nugget should stay.
So
Nugget should stay.
No, Nugget is going there. He's already announced. He
already announced. He already declared.
Yeah, we'll know everybody's status by Monday. We'll know who the coaches are going to be. I mean, this is still the battle is just over. They'll have everything in place Monday. We'll know everything Monday.
Okay. So, but he still had. I ain't gonna lie to you. He still had a hell of a game, and then also he had over 100. I think like over 150 yards in kickoff return.
Who was this?
Kickoff return yardage.
Coleman.
Kevin Coleman.
Kevin Coleman looked like Andre Rison today. That's who he looked like. He looked like Andre Rison.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I can just imagine him 1 year. Well, Mo is gone. It's gone, right?
Who was that?
Coach Mo, the strength coach.
Okay, where is he going?
He's going with Dion, ain't he?
Oh, he's going to Colorado. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's a key position. They need to get this. You got to get your strength and conditioning people. That's another thing that was different about Jackson this year was their strength and condition. You can tell that guy was doing his job.
Yes, sir.
Because all of them were
I
leaner,
don't even think he
faster,
I
quicker,
ain't saying
everything.
and I'm not saying that he don't need to elevate, but I feel like he should still be here because he's a godsend from, you know what I'm saying, coming in from Georgia to help out.
Oh yeah, he was that guy. Now, that's Sims, right? Isn't his name Sims?
Mo Sims.
That guy was a god. Yeah, like you say, he was a godsend. I mean, you could see it, especially in the games. You could see what he had done for him.
Yeah.
All them guys were quicker, leaner. You know, they just play with more confidence. Second half power and everything. They just got to get somebody to replace him because that was a big position. That strength and conditioning is big.
But I heard he's like he's the only one in the school. Him and one other person.
I can believe that.
So he got to do all the sports.
You know that. Wait, now we talking about an HBCU now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
God dog it, man.
Man, when I was at Grambling, Coach Robson used to come through the dorm waking people up. He used to, man, he was doing all kind of stuff. I was like, wait a minute.
Did you play, Mr. Ford?
I played in high school.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't play in college. I wasn't that good now.
Oh, okay.
No.
Shane Hooks, he had 7 receptions for 70 yards. And I always say with him is always take care of the football.
Yeah.
And I say he can go pro too, but he's got to go as a wing type. That's stuff that playing him wide, that's over with. If he wants to go to the NFL, he's going to have to do the same thing that they did with Shannon Sharp. They got to bring him in, and he's got to go to wing type.
I don't think he can carry that weight.
No, I'm talking about that Hooks kid, Shane Hooks.
How much he weigh about?
They'd have to build him up. If you go back and look at when
Let's go Bears.
When Shannon Sharp came to Denver, he came as a wide receiver.
I remember that.
Dan Reeves said, "You going to tight end?"
Yeah.
And that's how he went in the Hall of Fame as a tight end. I'm telling you now, the same thing can happen for Shane Hook. They can forget running him wide. He's going to have to come in as a wing tight, like a Kessler and Winslow. That's how he's going to get in the league.
He's gonna really have to beef up them. He really
they beef him. I mean, that's the natural in the pro.
But I don't know. He just got to
get he's long and lengthy
because he gets hit and he fumbles.
Yeah, he turns the ball over too much.
Strength.
Yeah, but the main thing is that he has good hands. That guy has good hands, man.
Mm-hmm.
He have good speed for a tight end too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to bring him in. He would be a wing tight.
I don't know if he can get that big. He got to be at least 230.
Oh, you can get that in the league. They'll get him up to 240, 245.
That weight gain stuff they put on you.
That's what I'm saying. They'll get him up to 240, 245. They'll puff him up. And the thing about him is that he has good hands. You can run him up the seam in the middle of the field.
Yeah. He said he's leaving.
Who is that?
Hooks.
Well, John Lynch was talking to Hooks. Remember, John Lynch took Hooks on the sideline. Who's John? Who is it general manager for?
He's the general manager for the 49ers.
Yeah, you remember when they put him on the sideline and they was interviewing? John Lynch was interviewing Hooks.
Yeah.
So so there might be eyes on him and Shaq Davis.
He goes listen, he could make it as a tight end. He's not fast enough to be out on the numbers. He has to be brought in. But as a wing tight, he can do some things.
So you saying he's too small to be a possession wide receiver?
You like him?
No, I don't think he's fast enough.
Okay.
You like him better than Malachi?
Oh no, Malachi's big
Yeah,
time. Malachi's a wide
Malachi's a
receiver.
beast.
See?
No, Malachi's a monster.
Do y'all remember Al Toon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know
That's
too.
Malachi.
I remember
That's
Al.
Malachi. He's Al Toon.
Yep. That's
Yeah, we
yeah.
know too. Yeah, Malachi is a beast.
Yeah. Oh, I told you. I think they were. Malachi was in the doghouse.
Malachi.
But let me tell you something. What's the name? T.C. Taylor is gonna free him.
Yeah, Mark Pope. Mark Pope was a
I
beast.
think he's out. He didn't he get in the portal?
Yeah.
He had got in the
out.
portal earlier, but then he came back and he sat. I think he sat out. But I mean, I don't know about Mark Pope, but I'm gonna say
He couldn't crack the starting lineup.
He couldn't crack the starting lineup.
He couldn't crack it.
You had too many you had not saying too many holdovers because Shane and Malachi and Trevante Rucker pretty much was most of your holdovers. Then you coming in with a whole new crew.
Yes, they did.
Davis, Powers.
Yeah.
That's
Buckley,
why
wasn't it Buckley?
Buckley. Like you coming in with a whole new crew.
Was it Willie Gaines? Willie Goins?
They got 20 receivers on their roster. 20.
They not on play too. That's why I used to get mad at Shador just sticking to one receiver when you can spread that ball around. Now you don't know who he gonna throw the ball to.
Yeah.
I tell you, I hope the Steelers get Stevens from them, the tight end. I hope he goes to Pittsburgh.
But he has one more year, right?
He got one more year.
Yeah, we can use him right now. We don't.
He gets one more year.
We need him right now.
Yeah. So let's talk about this kid. Let's talk about this boy right here, number 12.
Special.
Travis Hunter.
Special. He got to get stronger.
Yep.
He got to get stronger.
Yep.
But he's special, man. He leaving people like darts. He just darting about everybody.
Yeah.
The catch that back shoulder fade he caught for the game time touchdown.
Yeah. He's clutch. He's clutch.
Question for y'all. Question.
You can't teach that to no kid.
No, you can't. You can't teach.
Especially him being 18, 19 years old.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah, he's clutch.
Travis Hunter puts on 15 pounds. Right? Is he a better corner or is he a better receiver at like say 190?
He's a better.
Well, we always believe that defense is first. You put your best athletes on defense, and then everything else falls in place. So corner would be his main position, but if he needs to help you out at wide receiver, he can. But for me, he's corner first.
Yeah. Believe it or not,
first.
they always was reversible positions anyway.
Yeah. But at corner, he goes first round. First round.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
he got recovery speed, he can hit, he can stick. So,
Man, that guy choke. That guy's like remember that guy Reeves? What's his name? Remember he was a Pitt Panther
with the Jets.
Brad Reeves.
Oh man, he got that kind of he shuts down the whole side of the field.
Yeah.
That he's corner first.
That's Tony Dorsett, young boy.
Yeah, he's corner first.
Yeah.
He's corner, and then if he needs to help you out, he can go to wide receiver.
He got that speed, man.
This guy's generational, man.
Yeah.
He's
so I'm
special.
sorry, people. If y'all see me looking up a little bit, I am I got the stream going on, and I'm also paying attention to this 6A Division I state title game between Duncanville and North Shore out of Houston. Duncanville is up 28-21. They got 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So they trying to win the state. They haven't won state since 1998.
That Mississippi, Doc?
No, that's Texas.
That's Texas.
D. Davis' school, isn't it?
Hey, Doc, North Shore was trying to build that other building down that school down there.
Yeah. And then you got DeSoto out of DeSoto, Texas.
Yeah.
They
Dallas, they won state earlier. So, and then last night for the hood, South Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
What did Duncanville do?
Duncanville playing right now.
All right, DeVille. Okay.
Now listen, North Shore is where D. Davis went, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm praying that they don't ruin that boy at Alabama State. I'm praying. Because I hadn't heard nothing about them relieving that guy of his duties as offensive coordinator. That guy wouldn't be good if he was a junior high offensive coordinator. His name is Harry Williams. He's awful. He's in over his head, and he's going to destroy that Davis kid. And you know what? Eddie Robinson running around talking about who ain't SWAC and all that. Will you go get an offensive coordinator? And my thing is, the people at Alabama State, you are on the cusp of winning a SWAC championship. All you need is an offensive coordinator. Make them get rid of that guy or make him go to wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't want him to destroy that young boy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to kill him if he don't.
Yeah.
Mr. Ford, let me ask you this, Mr. Ford. Do you think HBCU schools have enough, like a system with up-and-coming coaches in it?
Nope.
No, our coach, listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we pick coaches is we say, is he my frat? Is I know his aunt? He played with me. That's how we pick coaches. It's nepotism and inbreeding. That's another reason they had a lot of problems with Coach Prime, because he was bringing people from the NFL. They don't want to do that. They want the inbreeding and the nepotism that they've always had.
But you know, Mr. Ford, that's Prime has literally showed what has to be done to get these kids in these schools.
Yeah.
Literally showing them.
That ain't gonna do it though, bro. What's great that happened in the Supreme Court gonna do it? If it gets struck down, it's supposed to come down next week, right? If it gets struck down, it's gonna
You
force
talking about affirmative action on the college campus?
Yeah, it's gonna force a lot of blacks back to HBCU schools.
Yeah.
What? I don't.
They're talking about killing those affirmative action scholarships.
The affirmative action plan, the affirmative action is on trial. If that gets struck down, it's going to force a lot of black kids back to all HBCUs. The problem is HBCUs do not have the infrastructure.
Yeah, we don't have the dormitories. We don't have the dormitories.
They can't handle it.
Yeah.
So next on my list right here, players, man, Davis Richard.
Tough ball.
Oh man, he's
tough. Tough ball, bro. But JSU didn't do their job. JSU, they coaches. I blame the coaches.
No, but that guy, listen, I saw him as a freshman. He has really developed. That guy's developed his game. I saw him for the first time when he played against Alcorn in the SWAC MEAC Challenge. Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Last year.
Listen, that he's come a long way. What he has developed, he's developed his passing game. When he initially came in, he was all runner, but now he can throw the ball.
He can throw the ball.
Yeah, and he's accurate now. He has developed his game. That's why I'm telling you, that guy who is the offensive coordinator at North Carolina Central, that guy has a future as a head coach.
Yeah,
that Matt Leone or whatever his name is.
He's a good athlete.
I think he's been at a couple of.
He was the quarterback coach at Southern for Dawson Odoms for 4 years.
Yeah.
That guy has a future. I'm telling you, I saw 3 of them guys that could become head coaches on that staff. The thing that got me tonight was this guy, this Trey Oliver, he put together a great staff in a short period of time.
He did.
Because he's only been gone from Southern, 2 years? How long has he been up there?
They like 3 years.
Listen, man, that staff he got is awesome, man.
He was on the staff with Rob Broadway. That's
this guy got he got some people up there. Man, they got a staff up there at Central. That's why I'm saying they possibly could be back.
I think because the boy, he's a what? Is he a junior or sophomore? This guy here, Davis Richards.
He has 1 more year. He's a junior now. He'll be a senior next year.
Oh, wow, really? They might run the table again.
That's what I'm saying. That guy, man. That guy, Trey Oliver, is on to something, man. He's on to something.
They might run the table.
And then
he has a solid. If he can keep those people together, because he got some quality coaches.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Mr. Ford. The transfer portal is going to level the playing field.
Yes,
it's going to be a lot of parity. It's brewing where you're going to see HBCU beating PWIs.
Yeah,
we can talk about that. I want that be the next thing I'm gonna segue into that next after this. Yeah, we can talk about that transfer portal, because I know it's actually the end of HBCU football season. Mookie Collier, that stiff arm that he put on Cam.
Oh man,
reminded me of damn Derrick Henry, y'all.
yeah.
Was that the quarterback?
That's
No, that was that running back, number 5.
That's the running back.
He let him know, baby, you better get in the weight room.
He put that stiff on Cam.
Yes, he did. That's a weight room stiff arm.
And told him I lift.
That's a weight room there, baby. He letting him know, baby, you too left. Don't run up here.
Yeah.
You're too left.
Yeah.
Like swap y'all remember that? I'm gonna say y'all but not last season, but the season before. Was it last season? No, season before. It was COVID season for the NFL. When Derrick Henry stiff on the dog snot out of
that guy was from Coastal Carolina, the one he stiff on.
Yeah. Y'all see how he did? That's the same thing. Like
that's another animal.
Literally put his soul into the ground, y'all.
Yeah.
My boy, the stiff arm was Earl Campbell, man.
Oh yeah.
Sir.
Oh yeah.
That was my boy. I was a Steelers fan, but man, the way he used to stiff arm us, man, and drag us in the end zone. I said, my God.
Damn, what's his name?
That's right.
Lynch too, though.
Marshawn Lynch.
Oh yeah, Lynch is
beast mode.
He used to throw people.
I like Earl Campbell though.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell drug our whole defense. Donnie Shell, Mel Blunt, he drug us into the end zone. I was like,
and this guy, I didn't even know about this guy. He didn't get on the scoreboard, but he kept them in the game when they threw the ball to him. He kept them in the game.
Yeah.
And then he actually got a touchdown. They ran he passed for 31-yard pass to the quarterback.
Oh yeah. You talking about number 4?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was good.
He's about 6'5", ain't he? The one
he's kind of tall and skinny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, he was tough. Yeah. That other guy was tough too. One of them was number 12. I think it was number 12.
Yeah,
he was good too.
I forgot his name, but
I can't think. Watkins, was it Watkins?
Somebody in the chat would tell me who the other receiver for Central was, but he's fast. He was fast too. Like he like in a sense. I've told y'all sometimes you probably do I understand y'all philosophy as far as your play philosophy for offense, but you kind of do need to challenge. You got to challenge the DBs on the other team.
That's right. You got to challenge
because you have to tell them. Because my whole thing is you have to show them like we're not scared of you. We, you know what I'm saying. We can go down the field. We could chuck it down the field if we wanted to. But you gonna know that we coming and we fast when we come, you know what I'm saying, we come at you.
And it make you loosen up your defense. It make that defense loosen up more.
Yeah. And Gerald, man, I hope Trey Oliver do get some looks at bigger schools just by the job that he's doing at Central.
Like who? Who will look at him? When you say big schools, what kind of big schools, Doc?
I mean more like G5, man. You got to realize I'm not saying no Power 5, but I'm looking at G5. I'm looking at something like Mo just put in the chat. North Texas looking for a head coach. There's some other schools that's out there looking for a head coach. It's like a Coastal Carolina looking for a head coach.
I'm looking at that firm in action. That's going to move a lot of black people from PWIs. That's moving a lot of black people from PWIs.
One thing you have to understand about coaching openings, it's about whose tree you're from. And you have to understand coaching is a fraternity. Okay. Trey and them is happy being up in Durham. Okay. Trey, he don't have to be at a group of 5. He's not the kind of guy. He's happy where he is. That's his alma mater. That's where he went. That's where his mother and father went. He's happy. He ain't got to go nowhere. I'm just telling you, he don't have to go nowhere.
You're right, Mr. Ford. So let's segue. We're gonna segue into the transfer portal.
Right.
So we got, I think it's over 9,000 kids in the transfer portal, y'all.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know how many.
No, it's 12,000 kids
It's
in the transfer
12,000?
portal. 12,000.
Okay.
And they said it still might be more. They said it might be more.
Yeah, after the bowl game's
after
over.
Monday, after the bowl game.
Yeah. They had 26, I think, from Texas A&M right now. Might be more than that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they were saying some of Texas A&M, they believe some of their players going to Colorado.
I wouldn't even doubt it.
You said Alabama, Texas A&M, Michigan, they believe some of their players is going to Colorado.
Man, if
This
it's
is
gonna,
not
like you said, it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more coming in
Yeah.
that portal. Now, this is what's gonna hurt, y'all. This is gonna hurt these high school kids.
That's right. That's going to shut the high school. Shut the high school kids out. That's right.
But it's been hurting them. You know what I mean?
Not like this, though,
bro.
Not
you're
like this.
Start seeing a lot of the Division II schools becoming good.
Yeah.
In Division 3.
Yeah.
In Division 3.
No team takes a players. If no team take a player, you stuck in the
Well,
portal.
what you do, they'll go to Division 2, stay a year, show themselves, and then they'll go where they want to go.
Right.
They'll use Division 2 like the junior colleges.
I'm gonna say, Mr. Ford, on the real, some kids nowadays, these kids nowadays don't have that type of patience to go to a D2 or a D3 or NAIA or even go back to the
choice, Doc, they're not gonna have a choice.
They're not gonna have a choice. They're not. Yeah, right. They're not gonna have a choice. They're not gonna have a choice. But some of these kids' pride, and then like I said before, you have people that give these kids bad advice.
Yeah, every day.
Bad advice.
Overrate them.
Getting in the portal.
Yeah.
Like you're not telling these kids what you got to be straight. When you kind of say 100, like my younger nieces and nephews, they can say, you got to be 100 with me. No, you got to be 100 with these kids.
Well, they got. Oh, school's 100 with you. When you like Dion did, Dion went in that school. When Dion went in that school and told them kids, you got to get in the transfer portal. No, that's what the coaches do. Really? Nick Saban tell you quick. No, you can't come. We got to leave here. We can't use you. Yeah. So that happened to all the schools. I don't know about HBCUs. They see, Doc, but this is what the black community has to understand. There's no such thing as a 4-year scholarship.
Yeah.
Your scholarship, if you basketball, your scholarship gets signed October 15th. If you football, your scholarship gets signed at the blue and white game or red and white game. There's no 4-year scholarship in football.
Yeah, it's a 1 year. It's a 1 year tryout.
A 1 year based thing, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do in that 1 year, they tell you get in the portal. We'll help you get somewhere, but you're not going to be here. That's all.
And I feel you, but my whole thing is and when people talking about this though, like, do you want to tell a kid that that has a potential, but they can't get out on the field because they got somebody or a couple of people that's better than them say, hey, just go into the portal or just don't even go into the portal, just go to the JUCO race to get your, you know what I'm saying? Nah. To get your film out there. Some people don't even do that for them kids.
That's true. But the thing is, as a competing athlete, right? As a competing athlete, you know where you fit at, right? You know where you fit at. No matter what you think, once you get out there among your peers, you know where you line up at.
That is true.
The newspapers can't tell you. The media can't tell you. If you play basketball and football, it's who you play against and play with will tell you where you go at. Your peers. You see how they try to make LeBron and Jordan or Kobe situation? The media can't do that. Your peers will tell you who was the star.
That's true.
That's where that talent comes from your peers. Whoever you play against, and then once you go against talent, you know your strength and weakness. You know your strengths and weaknesses. So if you don't improve your weaknesses, then you know you're not going to be there.
Right.
And that's why I brought up Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. The Eagles was sickly trying to bring the boy that went to Denver.
Russell.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. They was trying to get rid of Jalen Hurts and bring Russell Wilson in.
That would
Right?
that would have been the dumbest mistake they would have did.
Because they saying they didn't see that, they didn't think Jalen Hurts could be a franchise quarterback, and they didn't think he can improve. But Russell Wilson told the Eagles no. And that's why they kept Jalen Hurts at the last minute. But you see, but he improved. He making the throws, he making the reads. That man, he did a hell of an improvement, man.
Yeah.
Like
So
this is something I'm looking at. Mo, she said that she went to a JUCO, and she said all the football players thought they was NFL material, and that's true. Most football players, majority of football players think that. Most of them are. Most of them think they can be NFL material until somebody giving that cold hard truth and that constructive criticism.
It depends what school you go to, Doc.
Yeah.
If you go to school in Texas,
but here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying about that, though. Until somebody give you constructive criticism and tell you the cold hard truth about yourself, that you won't be sniffing, that you sniffing yourself, kids are always going to think like that. I even had to tell you, my little cousin, I have a little cousin, right? And him and his brother, they played with Prime when he was at Prime, when he had Prime Prep, that last year when he had Prime Prep. And I told my cousin, I was like, bro, if you don't have a backup plan about whatever school you want to go to, or about football, you're going to be lost out here. You got to set yourself up for the long haul. You got to set yourself up for a future. And I understand you telling this to a 17, 18-year-old kid, but they only going to listen to what their peers are telling them. They're not going to listen to what somebody like I say. But my whole thing is, I told him, I was like, look, you got to have a backup plan. He couldn't get to one school. We went down to Trinity Valley, sent him down to Trinity Valley. He tried out for the football team. He was a late entry, but I told him, I was like, you have to be that type of person to you got to take the criticism, because everybody in the adult world takes criticism. I take criticism on a daily about things that I do as far as when it comes to work. You got to take criticism, and you can't get mad about that criticism. You can get upset for a little bit because you might think that this person is wrong, but when you start thinking, the wheels start turning in your head, and you start thinking about it, it's like, damn, I'm for real. I'm really.
That happened to me, Doc. Doc, that happened to me at Lamar.
So just think about it. It's like, okay, now I'm like, cause we all ain't gonna end up where we want to end up at. You get what I'm saying? We all I ain't saying if you on your game plan, you can end up where you want to. But most of the time, majority of the time, maybe 65% of the time, we're all not gonna end up on what we want to do when we at that age. So my whole thing is, when these kids go into the transfer portal, I hope they get the cold hard truth about the transfer portal and not sit there in limbo.
But she got, listen, a lot of these kids just jump in the portal. They don't jump in it with a plan. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them don't. Like, if you jump in the portal at this point, you got to have some offers all ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, usually your coach calls schools for you. Your assistant coaches make the calls for you to place you at another school, to see if anybody interested in you. That's how it goes.
All
and
right,
Doc, when you go to Texas, right? Say from Texas all the way up to Colorado, that's JUCO heaven. That's JUCO heaven for football and basketball. Them your ranked JUCOs. So a lot of them dudes do make it to that another level. You understand what I'm saying? That's your top JUCOs in the country.
Right.
You know, I left there and went to Lamar in Texas, but I got injured in JUCO.
Me too.
But when I got to Lamar and got the operation, it was, you know, the constructive criticism. You got to work hard to build your body up, and medical wouldn't clear me to play. You know, so you're right. You got to get the tough criticism, but if ain't nobody never tell you, you gonna learn it in college.
Yep.
Why? Because there's somebody waiting in the wings to take your place.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy. Finish up. What you about to say, Randy?
No, I was just saying he was right, especially in the JUCO, man. It's a bunch of talent in JUCO,
Talent.
but it's like kids that you know don't have the grades or they don't have a spot, so you know schools send them there and they get lost. You know, I played on a JUCO team in the 80s that had 105 kids.
Yep.
And we was like that. You know what I mean? It was just a bunch of talented kids that just, you know.
What was the name of your JUCO?
Westchester.
That's New York?
Yeah, New York. Mm-hmm.
Where did the big time guys go?
They went to Syracuse, Penn
What was
State.
What was the names?
When I went, we had a couple kids go up to Syracuse. Oh man, what's my man name? Played linebacker. Xavier Williams, I think his last.
He played for Paul Pasqualoni or played for Dick McPherson?
He played, well, McPherson sent him there because he didn't have the grades. See, like when I was going out of school, you would get snatched and then they would place you in a JUCO.
Oh,
Okay.
you was there. Wait a minute. You was there when at Syracuse?
No. How was
No,
that?
in the 80s. You said the 80s?
Westchester, 80. Yeah, like 86.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had just a bunch of kids, man, that was just talented. That, you know, talented, but this, you know, just grades or, you know, just they was the best player on their team, but they didn't have maybe the SATs because then, like, you know, Prop 48.
48, yeah.
Yeah, so.
You saw Walter Berry play?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Now, hey,
Walter
Mr.
Berry,
Ford.
Pearl.
When and I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up with Pearl. I'm underneath Pearl. When I came from Philly, I was with Cliff Robinson out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And we played in New York.
You're from Philly?
I'm from Philly. We played in the Empire State game. Then we played in Brooklyn in the Elkhorn League with Bernard King brother, Gerald King.
Yeah.
Now, what was your high school in Philly?
Frankfurt. I the one introduced Brad Thomas to football, Mr. Ford.
You remember Pooh Richardson? You played.
That's my main man, Pooh. Bo Kimball.
Richardson? Yeah, Bo Kimball.
Listen, when Bo Kimball and Hank Gathers got kicked out of USC, we in the Sunny Hill College League together. I'm playing with Willie Glass from St. John.
Yeah, I remember Willie.
Yeah.
I remember Willie.
Bo Kimball's on my team. We playing against Howie Evans, Mike Anderson, and Hank Gathers.
Yeah, Howie went to. He played for John Chaney.
He played at Temple.
Yeah. He and Nate Blackwell.
Right. Paul Westhead come to town. He a Philly guy. Paul Westhead come. Yep. He signed Bo and Hank that weekend at the Sunny Hill College game. He signed them and took them the next season out to Loyola Marymount.
Is Sonny still living?
Yeah, Sonny's still living, yes. That's
I remember Sonny from NBA telecast.
Sonny is legendary. He's
legendary. That's right.
Yeah. So
who is that? Sonny Farrell or?
Huh?
No, Sonny Hill.
Sonny Hill. Sonny Hill's the basketball guru of America.
Yeah.
You talk about basketball?
Oh.
Yeah, he used to be on with Brent Musburger. He used to come on CBS NBA basketball. That was in the 70s.
He controlled. He also the top guy on McDonald's All-American team.
He would come in and analyze. He would tell you what you see here. Hubie Brown doing. Sonny was doing that back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I came through JUCO, dudes like the Del Echoes, right?
Yeah, I
Was
remember
doing
that.
his
Yeah,
thing. Well, he was a bad boy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Bill Eccles, he was a bad. And then
He went
when
to
we played,
UNLV, right?
no, Liddell Eccles went to New Orleans, University
yeah,
of New Orleans.
and led the nation in scoring, didn't
Led the nation score. Man, he was he was in JUCO. The boy Ben Guillory that went to Georgetown, 7-footer.
he? Yeah, I
You had
remember Ben.
you had Midland, Texas JUCO. I'm trying to think of the boy they had. The boy they had came at the Spud Webb.
Yeah,
But
Spud was
man,
from Fort Worth, Texas.
JUCO boy was the place.
Spud not from Fort Worth. Spud from right here in Oak Cliff.
I thought he went to Wilma Hutchinson.
He went to Wilma Hutchins.
Yeah, because they said that was a guy played with him was better than him.
Yeah. My uncle told me that story about Spud too.
Yeah.
Spud told me about I met him about a couple of years ago. This after he had his barbershop. But he owns a cigar lounge over here in Addison. But I met him a couple of years ago. Had to be when I was working at Jimmy Jazz, and he came in and he was with his kids, and so like he chopped it up for a second, and he told me it was somebody that was better than him. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Now listen, you stop talking about Philly. What about Lewis Lloyd? You remember Lewis?
That's my main man. Black Lloyd just died.
That's right.
That's my man. His
Now,
brother,
when did he die?
He died maybe about 8 months ago.
Wow.
Because he came and turned the Houston Rockets out. Remember, he came with Ralph Sampson.
Listen, now he turned the Houston Rockets out. He was the first one, he was the second one doing the European step. They give Dirk Nowitzki. Yeah. No, that was Earl to Pearl Monroe and Louis Lloyd doing the European step.
Oh, the Euro. Yeah.
Yeah, the Euro step. That was Louis Lloyd move.
Yeah, Lewis came in with Ralph Sampson. Yeah, Lewis had a drug problem.
That's what he had. Yes, that's what he had.
Drug problem. He was Overbrook High School, I think.
Right, but Lou came through the Midwest through JUCO, right? He went to JUCO.
He was Drake. Didn't he come from Drake?
Then he went to Drake.
Yeah, that's right. Went to Drake.
Yeah, Lou Lloyd. Lou Lloyd
called him Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. Now his brother on the JUCO I went to, his brother is the leading scorer, China Lloyd Down.
Okay.
Then his brother Sean went to New Mexico JUCO. Man, it was popping. You was playing in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. It was popping, man.
Did you remember Kemp? Now Kemp came out of the JUCO in Texas, didn't he? Remember Sean Kemp?
Sean Kemp went to Trinity Valley.
That's right.
Yeah. It was popping, man. You had the Grant brothers, Harvey Grant.
Yeah, because one of them went to Oklahoma and one went to Clemson or somewhere.
That's right. That's
Clemson,
right.
Yeah.
It was that team that played for Oklahoma played in the '88. A lot of them dudes came out of JUCO.
That was Billy Tubbs, wasn't it? Billy Tubbs
came out of Lamar. That's right.
Yeah, Billy Tubbs.
That's right.
Stacey King and Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, that was good.
Mookie is a legend in Dallas. Here in Dallas, Spud is a legend in Dallas.
Yeah, Mookie is probably the greatest point guard to ever play for the Hawks.
Yeah, Mookie had some problems, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he's incarcerated down here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who the ball. Hey, it was a ball battling Larry Johnson, right? They had a ball out of DC too, but Larry beat him out for the JUCO Player of the Year.
That's right. Larry went to Seminole.
Yeah, but they was going at it. But Larry,
and Tartanian brought Larry from Seminole to UNLV, and matched him up with.
Don't he come out of Oak Cliff?
Yeah, I think so. The guy he matched him up with was named Stacey Augmon.
No. The ball came out of. He was battling the ball for the scoring title in JUCO, but Larry beat him out twice for Player of the Year.
Oh yeah. Because I'm telling you, Larry left Seminole and went to UNLV.
88.
That's like 90, ain't it?
No, this is 87, 88. He in JUCO.
Yeah, he did, Larry. Yeah.
90 he had UNLV.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was on a legendary team at UNLV. They should have won it twice. I think they won it one time.
New York?
They won it one time. They blew out
They blew Duke out.
Blew out,
And then they lost to Duke, didn't they?
They no, the first time they blew out Duke by 30, and they lost to
Yeah.
Duke the next year by
Yeah, that was some boys
by
on
a
that
few
team.
points.
That was a cat was supposed to come in and take over UNLV named Lewis Lloyd. Not Lewis Lloyd. Daniels.
Lloyd Daniels?
Yeah.
Lloyd Daniels.
Daniels came out of Pee Wee come out of New York.
That's right. New York. Was it New York?
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the troops.
The boy was supposed to come to New York. I mean, the UNLV turned him out. Came out of Baltimore. He came out of Dunbar. Named what's Spoon? One of the James brothers.
Yeah, Spoon James.
Spoon James, younger brother.
Yeah, they were JUCO boys.
I got to make an announcement, y'all. Duncanville has won state.
Wow.
First time since 1998. I'm going to tell y'all something. And we're about to revert right back into HBCUs, right? You talking about Coach Samples. He's the head coach for Duncanville.
Right.
Played at Prairie View. Graduated from Prairie View. Started his bones at James Madison High School in South Dallas. Took his talents over to Lincoln down the street. Turned that program. They had only probably like 11 to 12 kids when he first got there.
Right.
And turned him into a perennial state power in 13 years. He turned around, he goes to Skyline, which here in Dallas, in the city of Dallas, in DISD is the biggest high school in the city, which they got almost 5,000 kids.
Right.
They are a state power. He couldn't get over the hump at Skyline. He gets Duncanville, and Duncanville, everybody knows Duncanville is always a state power in basketball.
Right.
He get Duncanville and for football, and he turned them back into a state power. And
then Wichita beat them a couple of years. Lincoln out of Port Arthur, Texas.
And what?
In football.
No. You talking about now when
talking about 5A. When they was 5A? Or 6A. Which one of them?
6A.
Okay.
But when I'm gonna tell you just like this. This man deserved the state title. He deserved it. His kid, like, he been doing it the right way. We call him the godfather of black high school coaches in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
This man has blazed the trail for every last high school coach here in Dallas. If you didn't watch last night's game, I know people I'm saying this, but last night's game with South Oak Cliff played Port Neches Grove, which is a hometown of Bum Phillips and Wade Phillips. Jason Todd was one of his players at Lincoln. Graduated, went to Prairie View, played at Prairie View. He basically following in the footsteps of this man right here. Comes back, he graduates from Prairie View, comes back to Dallas, gets on his coaching staff at Lincoln, goes with him, gets on the coaching staff at Skyline. Then when the opportunity came, when Coach Sample went to Duncanville, Coach Todd went over to South Oak Cliff and said, we're going to bring what we call the Mecca back to the south side of town. And I want to congratulate this man because he has done a tremendous job. And
Well, Doc, let me ask you this. Is this the year that Kevin Sampson wins the NCAA championship?
If he don't cheat, not playing. Now, his team for the U of H,
yeah,
he got a team.
His guard play is good. Okay, I think he's the best guard player, I think.
What's that?
He got the best guard play that I've seen so far this season between him and UCLA. They had the best guard play I've seen out of any team this season.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say who's going to win because every night somebody else getting knocked off.
But now you said you're from Philly, right?
Yeah, I'm from Philly.
What's your take on Aaron McKee? Is he going to be a big time or what?
No, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Once the Sunny Hill League collapsed, Sunny Hill League was the best summer league in the country.
Right.
It was similar to, say, USA basketball. Once the Sunny Hill League collapsed, you have no more feeder system.
Okay.
So now that killed Villanova. It didn't kill Villanova, but it killed Temple. It killed LaSalle. It killed St. Joe's. It killed Penn. So they have no more kids coming through the system. So with Villanova,
ain't Drexel in Philly too?
Yeah, Drexel not a Big Five. They in Philly, but they're not part of the Big Five.
Okay.
So part of the Big Five, when Raleigh Monsemino was there, Raleigh started recruiting from New York and North Jersey. And that's where Villanova get a lot of their talent from, New York and North Jersey. So that kept them ahead of the game. Now, but he don't have the kids to come there. He don't have the talent he need to come there. The talent is not being developed like that no more.
Well, let me ask you: Is Camden still a reputable power, high school power over there?
Yes, it is.
They back. Yeah. Milt Wagner grandson, number one player in the country.
Yes,
that's right. And he signed with Kentucky, or who did he sign with?
Kentucky.
He didn't sign yet. I know he just signed like a big $1 million, some kind of big deal, NIL deal.
He committed to him though.
Yeah, but till you sign it don't mean nothing, man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Till you sign on the dotted line. That's why. See, once you sign something, you got to go back and do it again. Why? Because once you sign, you underneath the NCAA system, and that's and that goes for whether you ready to play summer league basketball. That's why I couldn't play in a lot of leagues, but the Sunny Hill League, because Sunny Hill League is an NCAA and an NBA sanctioned league and the National High School Federation sanctioned league.
Mm-hmm.
So if you play anything like Dallas Comedy, when Comedy played in the Sunny Hill League, they went to Las Vegas. They got kicked out because you're not allowed to play in unsanctioned tournament. Although
why did Dallas go out to DePaul? What was behind that?
But I'm gonna tell you how he got to DePaul. Rico Washington, they was recruiting Rico. Rico didn't have grades, and that's how he got to DePaul. DePaul was in the city looking at Rico Washington. He didn't have the grades. He had the game. So once they had the grade, they went at Dallas. Now Dallas, what he did at DePaul, he didn't do that at Roman. Had he did that at Roman, he's unstoppable. Even though
he was what, Roman Catholic or boys and girls?
He went to Roman Catholic.
He went to Roman Catholic. Okay.
He went to Roman Catholic. Rico crushed. You remember Milt Wagner and Billy Thompson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rico Washington crushed them with 39 and 19 rebounds.
What was his high school?
Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah. Then his last year at school, he transferred. He went to school with Pooh Richardson. He lost a championship. Yeah, as a senior, he lost a championship with Pooh as a senior.
Okay.
Yeah, Pooh won it as a junior.
So we're gonna. I know we're going down memory lane, but we're gonna ask this question right here. What's up? What's next for JSU? What's next?
If TC bring in the right people on the staff, JSU will continue to dominate the SWAC. But if he can bring in the homeboy stuff, it's going to be a major problem. He won't last. Because I'm going to tell you, Jackson State is not a place you come to learn how to coach. You got to bring in people that's already got championship on their resume. The people at Jackson, FAMU, Southern, Ante, those people are impatient. They're not going to wait on you to build no program. You got to bring people in there that know how to win. And their resume says that they know how to win.
I'm going to tell you, Mr. Ford, I think after seeing the 2 years at JSU, every school going to try to lift up their expectation of their coaches. You see, they just got rid of at Morehouse. They just fired my man Freeman. I was shocked.
Listen, the reason they fired Freeman is because of that offensive coordinator at Alabama State. That Harry Williams was the coordinator at Morehouse for the last not this past year, but 2 years ago, he was the coordinator. That's one of the reasons they got rid of Freeman.
Oh, I was shocked that they got rid of Freeman.
But he had Harry Williams as his offense coordinator.
Okay.
And now this guy brings him in to Alabama State, which is holding up that program because he is in over his head.
All right. Okay. Let me ask a question. Is there a possibility, right, that HBCU schools can find an alternate way to pay their staffs? Like is it possible for them to get deals?
Yeah, but see, here's the problem with the SWAC. Every home football game that you have, you got to give 40% of the money to the conference office. That's crazy. You shouldn't be giving them no more than 25% of the money. Why should Mississippi Valley take the money that they have and send 40% of it to the conference office? That's crazy.
You got to get
They got to do a new, what we call it, a revenue sharing. It's got to be a new revenue sharing program.
But
you
how can
you got to put it in the bylaws,
revenue share
and the
like everybody's struggling?
The thing about it is, you put it in the bylaws. The presidents has to vote on that,
and that's the problem with them presidents.
The president, the board of regents, the president and the board, and it still got to go once the president vote. It got to go to the board of regents.
But see in Mississippi, you really don't have a board of regents.
No, y'all got IHL or something.
What's that?
For higher learning. That's the
same way.
That controls all the schools in the state of Mississippi. Not like elementary, but when it comes to the public, the universities. So you're talking about an Ole Miss, a Mississippi State, Southern Miss, Jackson.
So they got a vote too.
And Valley, they're all under that umbrella of the IHL. The IHL gets appointed by the governor of Mississippi, who is Tater Tot Reeves, and they make the rules about what to do about the capacity of your enrollment for your schools and stuff like that. They make all the rules for that. That's the reason why, in a sense, in Mississippi, you don't really have a board choice at your other schools. Like if you go to, let's say, for example, let's go to Florida A&M, right? FAMU has a board of trustees. They're under the state of what was it, the Florida, the University of Florida, or they under some system. I know they're under a school system. But they can go to their board of trustees and say, "Hey, our president ain't, the people, the alumni, the student body saying the president ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. What are you gonna do? We give this president a vote of no confidence. You know what I'm saying? Give him a vote of confidence. And if you ain't got enough, votes for the confidence in your president." Then the board of trustees gonna go and say, well, these jokers don't trust this person, right? In leadership, so we got to find somebody.
Right, but it still got to get voted. But it still got to go somebody up top, though. It still have somebody function as a board of regents.
But still have that's what I'm saying. So say like something like that. That's the board of trustees votes on like who the president is, like in the state of Mississippi. So like, let's say for example, so I'm gonna go right here, Jackson State. All right. So Carolyn Myers was our president one time.
Right.
They let her go because somebody was dipping into the rainy day fund where it went so low as to like, I don't know how much money it was. I wouldn't say the IHL, but somebody said something about it. And then what happened is the IHL, like I said, Jackson State, we don't have a board of trustees. We don't have a board.
IHL.
The IHL is the whole board. That's the same thing. They select the president for the school.
Right, that's the same thing.
But Carolyn's biggest problem was she was tied at the hip to Phil Bryant and Thad Cochran. And Cochran died. Phil Bryant went out of office, and she had nobody.
Yeah,
and
nobody.
That's what got her.
But the IHL, Doc, is the same thing as like the region, the Board of Regents, right?
Well, but now the IHL is more like what you would say is your school system. It's not a
Right.
Board of Regents. It's
Well,
like
it's the same thing as the Board of Regents. This say Mississippi, this say Jackson want to go to a Power 5 school, right? They got to go through them before they can go to a Power 5 school.
No,
you gotta get,
but no. Not on that note. No, they don't. When it comes to athletics, they don't go to the IHL. They go through the
you got you leaving their system, Doc. You leaving their system. They got to vote on for you to leave their system. You leaving Mississippi.
No, it's not that. It's not like that. It's if you're gonna move up, you're not leaving the IHL. You're just saying that the IHL has no control of what you do as an athletic within your athletic conference. They have no control over that.
So who
they have no seriously, they have no control over that. The IHL has no control over what Jackson State wants to do when it comes to what they want to do athletically. So if Jackson State say we want to move up to G5 to a G5 conference, the IHL can't say shit about that. The only thing the IHL can do is they can appoint the presidents of the schools. They go by through a board, which is the IHL is the board, and they appoint the presidents of the school. They come up with the enrollment caps. They come up with the state funding. They come up with everything. If you funded by the state of Mississippi, you go through them.
And absolutely, Doc.
When it comes to athletics.
So you saying, I want to be clear what you're saying. Wait a minute. I want to be clear what you're saying. So you saying the state of Mississippi is the only state where the athletic department don't have to go through what is it, IL? Is that what you're telling me? You saying that are you saying that the IHL? Are you saying that the schools in Mississippi do not have to go through the IHL?
No. As far as when it comes to athletics, no.
Okay. So how do you get to another conference?
When it comes to athletics in the state of Mississippi, for state supported schools in Mississippi, they go through the ADs.
No. I ain't talking about that. If you want to move to another conference, how do you move to another conference?
It starts off with the presidents. The presidents
vote
on what they're going to do.
No, Doc. When you get invited to another conference, it starts off with an invitation from that conference. It starts off with an invitation. Then that state that you in have to reach out to them and say, what are the rules that you want us to go by? Because contracts are involved. Once them contracts get involved, then the state got to go back and vote. Do they want to be part of that conference?
Not like that. Not through the state of Mississippi. Now I'm telling you.
Okay, Mississippi is the only. That's what I'm saying. The Mississippi is the only state that do that. The Mississippi.
State of Mississippi. While I'm saying it, this is what I'm saying. State of Mississippi is the only one to say you don't have to go through the IHL. You are going through the ADs and the school presidents. If the school president feel like that, that's the reason why when you talking about the SWAC, when Mr. Ford, we talking about they have to redo the bylaws for the SWAC to change the revenue sharing. That's what we're talking about, Mr. Ford, to take the revenue sharing.
Yeah, we got to do something about the revenue sharing.
No, that don't have to do with bylaws. No, bylaws don't have to do with contract. When it comes time for a new contract, what they have to do is create a better structured system. So the contracts go from the TV to the SWAC conference. That's how the contracts go. From the TV to the SWAC conference, and then the coaches voted on do they want that contract. The SWAC conference control the contract. The local, if the SWAC conference don't take the third tier away from the local team, if they don't take the third tier away, then the third tier go to the local team where they can show the TV saying Jackson. But if the conference take away their third tier, then the conference control the first, second, and third tier. then the only thing left is the streaming.
We don't have, but see, this is the thing though. I'm gonna tell you like this: Jackson State don't have a third tier. You know who has a third tier contract? Grambling.
Everybody has a third tier, Doc. Everybody has a third tier. Everybody.
I promise you.
Do they have local?
When it comes to the media, like for real, your first tier is ESPN, right?
No. I'm not talking about that, Doc. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying when the TV deals get done, the TV deals go to the SWAC conference. They negotiate with the SWAC conference what deal they want to give the conference. The conference take the deal to the athletic director of all the conference schools.
Mm-hmm.
This is the percentage they want to give us around this contract. The schools, it's like they like vote. They say like a knowledge of agreement is called. All right, we'll take the contract. The contract negotiation is between the SWAC and the TV thing. Your third tier contract is your local TV. That's your local TV where the city of Jackson might can see it on one of their local channels. Unless the contract say I got your first, second, and third tier. Then if they got your first, second, and third tier, then your local TV, then Jackson don't have nothing to do with none of the contract. The SWAC will control all the contracts. When you go see the SWAC, how many contracts do they have? They got Griot, right? Not the SWAC, but HBCUs. They got what? Griot, HBCU Go. What's the other TV contract they have? ESPNU. What's the other one?
That's it.
Huh?
That's it. But in
so
the
they got
in the SWAC, the only one that has three contracts.
So what are the three contracts?
It's Grambling out of the SWAC. It's Grambling because Grambling signed a deal with Urban Edge Network, who operates HBCU League Pass.
Absolutely, and that's why they suing. Why they sue? Hold up, Doc. Why they suing McClellan? Why they suing McClellan? Why
they didn't sue McClellan. McClellan. They didn't sue McClellan. McClellan sued them. They dropped the case.
No. They sued first, and then he sued. He countersued. McClellan countersued, Doc, back in September. If I'm not mistaken, it's September 18th when he countersued.
But that case has been dropped, hasn't it?
It's going to be dropped because he can't stop it from happening.
It's already been dropped.
That's the third tier.
No, it's been dropped. Because why? Because the jurisdiction of when he did the suing was done in the state of Alabama. Grambling is in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, but it don't matter what state it is. I mean, it does matter what state it is. No, it does matter what state it is. If you don't, it does matter if you're a federal district. This say like we in Philly, right? This say we in Jersey. You can be in Jersey, but Philadelphia carry Jersey, Delaware, and another state jurisdiction. So Louisiana must have their own federal district. Now, what he could do, he should have went and then he got a refile. He got a refile in the state of Louisiana. But the thing is that deal a breach of contract?
Nope.
So then
nope.
If it ain't a breach of contract, if it ain't a breach of contract, then it's a third tier deal. It's a third tier deal.
That's what I'm saying. Grambling is the only school that in the SWAC that has a third tier deal.
Right. So my question
is, the school in the SWAC has a third tier deal.
Right. So what was Mr. Kellen? What was Mr. Kellen suing for?
He said only the conference had the right to negotiate with.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this though. While I was at work, I talked to a guy that works for the Big Ten Network, right? And Mr. Ford, you're gonna love this, what he told me. He said the way we got our contract set up, which I know it's a bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's $1 billion. And I understand it. It's 7 years, $7 billion. Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
He said that you need somebody from the outside that's not affiliated with the SWAC to negotiate your deals for you as far as your media rights deals.
Not if you
He
got a good
said,
commissioner.
he said, nope. He said the commissioner is just the mouthpiece for the SWAC. He said you get somebody to negotiate, somebody from the outside to come in to negotiate the deal, but the media rights deal for the SWAC. All you got to do is present it to the school presidents. Then it goes up to the commissioner, to Commissioner McClellan. Then you can say, well, this deal might not be good enough for us. Then you can go back and you can counter offer.
My question, did he tell you this though? Your deal is based off your fan base, right? The Big Ten have a $4.3 billion 7-year deal, right?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. He's saying, but in a sense, this is what he's saying. He's saying the way you doing it is like you understand it. So, but I'm telling him, I'm like, we're talking about it, but he's like, yeah, you SWAC, right? I said, yeah. It don't, you can't. Nobody's not gonna get a deal like the Big Ten. Nobody's not gonna get a deal like the SEC. Ain't anybody gonna get a deal like the Big 12 because I know they did get ready to come up too.
No. The Big 12 got the best deal out of the deal. They got the best deal. Even though the Big 10 will make more money with the $4.3 billion, we left the Big 12 deal is a 6-year deal at $2.28 billion. But the key is because the Big 12 going to expand, that money can go up to $90 million per team. And the Big 12 never signed a streaming deal. They left that open. Where they can bring in $52 million just off the streaming. Yeah, the Big Deal now, the Pac-10 have a $4.3 billion deal. The Big 12 have a $2.28 billion deal. But the difference is because the Big 12 won't keep expanding, and you might find Colorado back in the Big 12 in a couple of years.
That would help them because that would give them access to Texas. That would help them. That's one of the problems Colorado got. They ain't got nowhere to recruit.
For the Pac-12, they abandoned Texas.
Yeah, that would help them to go. That would help Colorado to go to the Big 12.
And by the Big 12, they're signing that contract. That frees it out the Pac-12 from getting. And they only get like maybe a $28 million deal. They can't make no big money. So they see teams jumping ship. So the only one who can expand, bigger is the Pac-12. I mean the Big 12. Now on the back of the SEC deal, the SEC, Oklahoma and Texas supposed to leave there in 25. They trying to put Oklahoma and Texas to come there next year. Why? Because if they come, then they get a chance to get their deal that they stuck in. They want to get out that SEC ABC deal. But once Oklahoma and Texas come, that take them back to the table to negotiate a new deal. This is the nuance of the game that's being played, that we have to understand how to construct and understand nucleus of contracts. And this is where we get in law, and this is what Prime's saying, that it's not just HBCUs, it's the black media, it's the black government contracts, it's any healthcare. The black leadership is locking us out of position to make money by taking these crazy contracts when they're not qualified to construct a contract. So while they were sleeping on the Big 12, that dude came right in. He put that thing together. He went to every school. He got them on board. When they look up, he was getting the deal done. So now the school's going to make $20 to $30 million more per school than they would have made before he got the big contract. And once they keep bringing and adding more schools to the conference, that let that revenue even go up more. They can expand their revenue. That's why their deal is great. They're not locked into like the Big Ten. You locked in $4.3 billion for 7 years. They locked in. They can't expand. Although they're going to get UCLA and USC, but that contract don't go up. That's it. Now I do get a Big Ten credit for this.
But the contract is 7.7. It's not 4.
No,
It's 7.
No, the contract is $4.3 billion.
That ain't what I read.
The contract is $4.3 billion for 7 years, and the school's going to make anywhere from $65 million to the schools can make anywhere from $65 million to $75 million per school.
That ain't what I read. I read 7 years. I read 7 years, $7.7 billion. Each school can make up over $100 million.
No, I get it out for you. I got the whole. That's what I do with contracts. Different kind of contracts.
Hold on. Let's see what we got to do next. Like you said, Mr. Ford, you said that Jackson State got TC got don't get his homeboys.
Don't get the homeboys. Go get professional. Get people from the league or people from higher division. Get professionals, people who are students of the game, not your homeboys. That's why Southern is pathetic, because Dooley got that job and hired nothing but his homeboys. So, he went and got the neighborhood from New Orleans.
But Mr. Ford, how do you pay him though?
How we pay him?
You got to be competitive.
You got to be competitive. And
you got to be competitive.
You got to be innovative when it comes to the marketing part too.
Listen, they said that Jackson State made $5.2 million off of homecoming or one of them games. You can't pay a staff and you making that kind of money? Like my man said, something ain't right with these contracts.
That's why Prime left, man.
Yeah, something ain't right.
That's why I said that they left $4.3 billion on the table. You can't have that fan base at 65,000 people and the numbers don't match the money don't match the numbers.
No, it don't make no sense.
It don't make sense.
We'll see y'all on December 29th when the documentary come out.
Yeah, it ain't about
as far as I want to get y'all insight on this. As far as, like I said, what's next for JSU? They already have a quarterback. They got it coming out from the JUCO ranks.
Right.
They got a 4-star athlete coming from Oregon in
right. 7. What is in the 7 McGee?
Yes,
yeah. 7 McGee, yeah.
You got a couple of offensive linemen that stay committed because I think Coach TC and Coach O was on the phone heavy to say you need to stay where you need to stay put.
The one boy 6'8" going with Prime, ain't he? The one boy 6'8", I think he's going with Prime. The 6'8", he from out of Ohio somewhere.
Well, he did. He went with he did. He committed to Colorado.
We weren't worried about him. We was talking about it was the Aquarius. I forgot his last name. The Aquarius Clark, I think.
Where's he from? Ohio, right?
No. The Aquarius Clark is from Mississippi.
Okay, no, that's different. Okay.
Now somebody did say it's true that Coleman is staying. That Kevin Coleman is staying.
Okay.
I want to make sure. He said he announced it. They said he announced it tonight that he is staying.
Okay.
Hayden Hagler. We're talking about Kevin Coleman. Hayden Hagler. I'm gonna need y'all to lay out for him. He already had. It's bad that he dropped the pass that could have at least kind of made the game even in overtime. We do not need to keep pounding on this kid because of one mistake that he did. You have that one mistake does not cover for all the other mistakes that Jackson State made during the game for the whole day.
Listen, man.
So if anybody that wants to go in there on Twitter to his Twitter handle or on Instagram and harass this kid, you ain't. I'm gonna say, excuse my language. I hope the people don't flag me for it, but you ain't shit.
Yeah. But you know what, Doc? Listen, if you play sports and you play sports long enough, you're gonna have a moment like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Yeah.
I mean, like that's just part of it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and I understand too, but my whole thing is you talking about grown ass people like us. You know what I'm saying? We over our 40s and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We whatever athletic, you know what I'm saying, dreams we done had it and done passed
It's
us by.
gone.
It's gone. He's still a kid.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
still a
man.
kid. Do
Yeah.
not mess with this boy right here. I ain't gonna say, boy, this young man. I'm gonna call him a young man. I'm gonna call him young sir because that's why I text him on Twitter. And I'm gonna say it is. You keep messing with this kid.
Don't say it.
If you keep messing with this kid,
That ain't right. That ain't right.
it ain't
Nah.
right. What's
Corny.
gonna happen is you're gonna mess up this kid's psyche, and he's gonna do something that he don't want to do.
No,
And that ain't cool. They don't do that.
And
Don't
we
do
don't
that.
need for him to do that.
he
Right.
got enough people around him to support him. He all right.
I don't even blame him. I don't blame him from that. I don't blame him because I
Mhm.
blame the coaches. I
He
blame
should
the
have been in that
coaches
position.
for not making adjustment and being prepared. I don't blame. That's one play. They played 60 minutes of football.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
That's one play.
right.
Yeah, I don't blame
And,
no
but
one
like,
play.
and like I said, it's one play, and it's one mistake out of all the mistakes that Jackson State made the whole game.
Yeah.
No, he
You
all
can be
right,
mad.
man.
Be mad at the coaches.
Yeah.
And you gotta look and you gotta look at it like this. When you look at the leaps and bounds that Jackson State made just to get there 2 years, to get there,
Mm-hmm.
that's a blessing within itself because
Yeah.
there was so much hate going on. Man, they hated Jackson State and Coach Prime. Now
Yeah.
every
Oh,
school,
they hated.
every
Oh,
school will take them.
Hey,
boy, they hated the
let me ask a question.
stank on us.
Let me ask a question. Was there an actual
Go ahead.
Was it coaches in the SWAC signing a petition for them for Prime not to coach? Was that true?
I don't know. I heard. I don't know if
about
that's
that.
true. I don't know if that's
I
true.
can't even say. I don't even know nothing about that, but that don't
I
don't
heard
even
that,
sound
but I
right.
don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
don't
why
know
would
if that's
they do that?
because he want to change the system. He want to change the structure.
Yeah.
So when he's saying that you can't change the structure with football. It's not about X and O's, whistle and bells. You
Right.
can't change the structure. And he's saying until the leadership and administration understand change and will change and how to do change, you're not going to have change.
Right.
And as a
That's true
football
though.
coach, you're not going to get it done.
That's true though.
So it is what it is. So
Yeah.
when you ask the top people to come there, I think they're going to come, but they're going to be by default.
Yep.
It's going to be by default because, like I said, the Supreme Court case coming that's going to force a lot of black kids and people out of higher education. As a matter of fact, they just had someone with Tennessee State asking them why would last month
Yeah, I
why
saw
so
that.
many black
Yeah.
kids why so many black kids going to Tennessee State?
Yeah, I saw
They had
that.
a hearing. They had a hearing in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
That's crazy.
But you know why the senator asked her that, right? The senator asked her that because the more people come in, the more you have to give enrollment money to the state, to Tennessee State. You got to get
Control the
Tennessee
cap
State
of
more money.
they control the cap of the enrollment.
Right.
So
and then
so like we were saying, as far as what's next is basically to make sure you got to make sure Jackson State don't lose all the kids to go to the transfer portal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now we know kids is going to be going to they're going to the NFL. Like I said, Aubrey is declared for the draft. Nugget is declared for the draft. Zay Bolden is declared for the draft. I don't know who else is declared, but I know those three are declared for the draft. You got the other three that already that's in the transfer portal. We don't know who else is going in there. We don't know who else is going there as far as going with Deion to Colorado. If like I said, if it's been said that Kevin Coleman is staying at Jackson State, that is a big boost because now you can, if you're TC, you can go and you can kind of use Kevin Coleman. I ain't say as a crutch, but you can use Kevin Coleman as a barometer and say, hey, this 4-star kid came out of high school. He balled out for us in the national championship game. You can come here.
Yeah, but Doc, you know what?
But you got to win though, Doc. See, Deion could do that. Deion could do that because Kevin Coleman probably got an NIL deal.
Right.
See, that's going to play a major part too. The NIL deal.
He got an NIL deal. He got the NIL deal with Greenwood. He got a couple of NIL deals.
Who do?
That's why I said.
Who got a NIL deal?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
First NIL deal with Greenwood.
You got to understand something, Doc. Travis Hunter was the number 1 player in the country.
Yeah,
right?
What I'm saying is like
Prom got him that deal, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc, Prom got him that deal.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You read about the NIL deals and how they get the NIL deal. And then when they finding out certain people getting promised NIL deals, right? And not getting their money.
Yeah.
Not getting their money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Texas A&M, how he got 26 kids in the portal and half of them was
got 100,000. Got 100,000. They got 100,000 a month and their money stopped. So, but they was promised $2 to $3 million.
Yeah.
You know, so that thing great to blow up because it's not really working the way it's supposed to work. Yeah. The only one you really can say did it the right way is JSU, and Alabama.
Don't forget Southern Cal.
Both the Alabama found
Don't forget Southern Cal.
But see what Southern Cal did. Southern Cal don't have no brands. They put a collective together. See, you see Bryce Young from Alabama. He's representing what? Beats by Dre, Mercedes Benz. You see Shador. He got hot sauce. He got Beats by Dre. He had Mercedes Benz. You understand what I'm saying? That's a brand. So the brand underneath a brand is what? It's 3 different contracts: name, image, and likeness. What you see what Southern Cal did, you got some businessmen, put some money in the pot, go get your players. That's a collective. That's not an NIL deal.
Man, let's ask this question.
It's a slush fund, bro.
I'm gonna be so tripped out. I'm watching the game on the phone, and you see the commissioner, Roger Goodell, at the game. Who would have thought that his nephew
with JSU
go to JSU,
and he don't help and support HBCU?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Not only that, he had to come back and apologize, keeping Colin Kaepernick out the league.
Now you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to do something now.
He better not do nothing.
When it comes, let's see.
He ain't doing nothing. Why do you think Jerry Jones 2 weeks ago was great to hit the Patriots owner? He's ready to sucker punch him 2 weeks ago.
For what?
The Patriots.
Somebody asked us, what was JSU's defense? I do not know where they was at.
They stayed confused.
Daddy didn't play, suspended. My wife over here say they all in Colorado.
Hey,
you got the big.
Listen, guys. Good country. Night. I'll see you later.
All right, bro. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
All right.
We're gonna have one next week. But
I'm gonna tell you, Doc, that was the difference in the game, bro. Gaddy.
What was that?
Big country.
Yeah,
Gaddy.
Gaddy not being in the game was a big difference.
And big country. He's a monster, bro.
I mean, just plugging up the middle, yes. But my whole thing about this is, y'all, what's going to happen on Monday? How would TCU? How would TC be able to try to stop the bleeding? For kids leaving the program.
Now
you can't really stop them.
They say that they got some kids coming, but
right.
My concern is, are they skilled players or are they linemen? See, what I saw tonight was they need not bigger linemen but better linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like those tackles, they're decent, but their guards really are like real good teams. Like they're kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? Like JSU had problems, in my opinion, with speed rushes.
But that's why you correct. But that's why you throw the screens. All North Carolina, that's what North Carolina Central did to offset Jackson State speed. They threw screens all night.
Yeah,
and that offset the speed down. The problem is JSU made no adjustments.
Yeah,
and when they didn't make no adjustments, they start falling back. That gave the gaps to the quarterback to take off.
Yeah.
Big B asked me, he said, what we suspended for? He was suspended for because he was late. He was 1 minute late. I guess going into the locker room before the game started because he had to put something back up under the bus. And like I said, Prime has been consistent about suspending players for being late.
Hey, Doc, if that happened, that explains why they had to stop the national anthem. They saying JSU didn't come out the locker room in time. And that they made North Carolina Central stay in the tunnel for like 15 minutes.
Wow.
They had to change the program around, waiting on JSU. If that was happening, wow, that might be why he got suspended. But isn't he going to the NFL?
Gaddy will be back. I think he'll be back. He still got a year left, even though he already graduated from the school. I'm thinking he'll come back because of the fact that his dad, Big Daddy Gaddy, I think he wants him to stay at Jackson.
That's good. That's good.
I think he wants him to stay at Jackson. He needs to stay at Jackson.
I think he do too. I think he do. I'm not mad at Kevin Coleman going to stay there. I'm not mad.
I'm gonna push him back and see what y'all say. I believe Gaddy needs to go because like Gaddy needs like another 20 pounds on him. And he's a pro. Like he's second round, like that. I think he needs one more year with a good strength coach. Now, if that was my son, that's where I'll be looking at.
But do they take HBCU players and except Steve McNair, what play they took lately in the second round?
In the second round?
Yes. For HBCU players.
Sylvester Morris and Rashad Anderson went in the first round.
They went first round draft choices?
Yeah.
I
was there. Yeah, when I was in school, I was there. My boy Corey Bradford, he went in the fifth round. He would have stayed. They said he would have stayed one more year. he would have stayed one more year at Jackson State, he probably would have been either a late first rounder to early to mid second rounder.
I think if James Houston would have stayed, he would have been a top draft choice.
I would say if James Houston would have stayed one more year, I think he probably would have been probably like in the fourth round. I don't know about top, but he probably would have been in the fourth round.
He was up though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have any more eligibility. I don't believe.
No, he had one more year.
He did?
Yeah, one more year.
Yeah, he had one more year.
So he played 3 years in Florida.
Yep.
2 years and 1 year. 2 years and 1 year at JSU.
JSU.
I thought he played 3 at Florida. Oh, okay.
D-Lo, Rashad went first. He was the 22nd pick in the first round, and Cat was the 20th pick in the first round. They both got drafted on the same. They got drafted one after the other.
Okay.
Where
they go?
Rashad got drafted in the first round, D-Lo.
Who they with? Orland? Who they with?
They was Rashad got drafted by the Panthers that year, and Sylvester got drafted by Kansas City. This was the 2000 draft.
Okay.
It really wasn't that 2000 draft really wasn't that good. Farasi, you just missed Mr. Ford. You was late. You was late. If anybody in here, make sure y'all let's get the likes up. Let's get this channel let's get to 825 subscribers. We are at 819. We at 819. Let's get to 825, and then man, we're gonna work up to getting to 1,000, y'all. Nah, for us, I don't have a number on Mr. Ford. Whenever I'm on, that's when he come on.
March 1st will tell us about JSU. After the signing period, after the transfer portal.
Yeah, because I'm about to say the transfer portal closes up in the first round. They close up in January, right?
Right, late January.
And then because you got signing day for the high school and the JUCOs.
In what? February.
And then February, and then because it opened back up it opened back up for a week and a half in March.
Correct.
So who do you go? Who, like I said, what do you get? What do you need to get? And what other than the staff, what do you need to get as far as position players?
Linemen.
But also a quarterback, a high school quarterback to come through the system.
Right.
Somebody that can throw the ball.
Okay.
You definitely need a high school quarterback or a sophomore from somewhere. That way you got stability there.
Okay, so y'all say O-line. We got the quarterback already. We got the quarterback.
No, he's a JUCO. You need somebody in the system.
Okay, so we need an actual high school quarterback.
A freshman quarterback to come in.
Okay,
that gives you stability.
Yeah. That's what I see. They just basically need just like to retool, like to reset. Because now, what kind of offense are they going to run now? You know what I'm saying?
He's going to run the same.
So now you got to get a coordinator that's going to fit their kids now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I think, in a sense, I think I'm gonna tell you just like this. When it comes down to it, as far as offense, I think he would still stick with the same offensive philosophy, because y'all gotta realize too. TC was the OC for North Carolina Central when they won 3 straight MEAC titles back then.
Okay.
So
but what kind of offense did he run?
So it's not. It's not like he don't know what he's doing. Because you gotta realize TC was an offensive player. TC was like I said, TC was a quarterback when he first came in our class, and then he transitioned to a receiver because why? We had Superman Robert Kent as our quarterback. What's that?
If I was TC, right, I wouldn't rush that. I would call the offense for that year until you found somebody that, because you don't know how they're going to recruit. Like, he knows the offense, right? And to bring somebody in, like, if you bring somebody in, he's gonna want to tweak and mess with this and mess with that, you know. I don't know.
But I put it like this though. If you bring somebody else in, and it's not even about tweaking, it's about improving. You're improving,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You're improving something that you had before, and you try to make it better, even though the offense was already better.
So if you bring in somebody, now everybody's in a first year offense. That's not good.
Not everybody.
Well,
not everybody. Some of the people. Not people.
Everybody.
But the quarterback, which if I looked at his resume, he's a throwing quarterback, so he can throw the ball. So he would have to get it coordinated with the offensive line and the skill players. But we don't know who the wide receiver is going to be. Now, if they keep the same core wide receivers, then the quarterback got to get acclimated with them in the tight end. If they have that same core, and then the offensive line, I think that offensive line, it definitely need improvement and need 1 or 2 players. But you can see the great improvement from last year. Last year they couldn't block at all.
Right.
This year, but for Wilkerson to get 1,000 yards, that's to the offensive line credit. But
that's also the offense too, because everything is spread out. Right.
That's true. You're right.
You know what I mean? So,
you're right.
Like, in my personal opinion, Wilkerson's a great back. He's a good back. But Jackson State needed a big back this season. When they, like, he would, like,
well, he led the MEAC in rushing last year.
Right. Okay.
So he was considered a big back. He was considered a big back. He led the MEAC in rushing.
Right.
But what I think they didn't do though, they didn't find different ways to give him the ball. Instead of up the middle, swing passes, pitch outs, dig runs. They didn't find different ways to get him the ball to create opportunities for him to be one-on-one with linebackers.
Right.
Which I think he would win them battles one-on-one.
So I got a question for y'all. Who you think, as far as Jackson State, when it comes to on defense? Let's say I'm gonna give you these names: Baron Hobson, Jeremiah Brown, of course. Let's say Jarrente Davis, if he's not leaving, and who do you think would fill in that void?
For Miller?
Yeah.
Jeremiah Brown. He started making noise the last 5 games of the season. He started making noise.
So
that's why they was chop blocking him today. Hit him high, hit him low. They was chop blocking him because he was coming around that end fast.
He fast, yeah.
But to chop him down, they were chopping him down. So
but I don't think they have him yet.
With Jeremiah Brown?
No. Well, he's good, right? he's developing.
Right.
Aubrey was like he was steady. He was steady. Like he
But
had his flaws still. Huh?
Aubrey improved this year because they thought Aubrey was going to struggle because James Houston was gone. But Aubrey changed that around and showed you a different.
Well, actually,
but you know what it did though. But you know what it did though. I'm sorry, Randy. My bad.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It because James was the one that was he came out and produced 15 and a half sacks, right?
Right.
For your team, for the team last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that meant that it was just one person just going crazy to the quarterback. Well, I take that back. It was two because it was him, and then it was Antoine Owens on the other end.
Right.
Because I think he had 9. So you had those two going crazy on the other end. Now you take those two away. Was this going to be more of a even kill type defense where everybody get to eat? Because then, like I said, you seen the potential with Niles Gaddy coming off the edge. But see, also with Niles Gaddy too, instead of putting his hand in the dirt, you stand him up because he came in as a linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not a true defensive end. He came in as a linebacker, but they twist him over to they made him play defensive end because of his strength. Like he's strong as an ox. If he gets the speed and he gets the bend,
Mm-hmm. He was their best pass rusher.
He was the best pass rusher. But then too, we didn't know how Mercier was going to be. We didn't know how who's mother Doyle was going to be. We didn't know what was the other defensive end. Well, we knew how Reagan was going to be. Reagan rocked out in the last 3-4 games of the season.
Right.
So what do you do with him? Well, I think Reagan is gone because he came in under the Hendricks era. So I think he's gone, or he might have a year left. What do you do with him? Because it feels me, Justin Reagan should have been starting right next to Niles Gaddy on the opposite side, Niles Gaddy from the beginning.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, but like Jackson State, like in the beginning, they had a complete defense. They were complete. They didn't have any weaknesses. They got better in my own opinion when they started playing big country.
But remember Jackson State didn't have their whole team when they started the season.
I know, yeah.
So the other guys start coming in about the 5th or 6th game. Right. They had a lot of injuries, and different things. And then remember they had that top linebacker that got in trouble, McClain.
Oh yeah, early from USC.
From USC.
Yeah, the kid from USC.
Oh, but he wasn't going. Abdul, he wasn't going to hit the field. I can tell you that. He wasn't going to hit. He was like, for real. I looked at him. He was terrible.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was terrible.
Well, what his brother think about coming in? The other McClain was thinking about coming too.
Yeah.
The younger one.
Yeah.
The one supposed to be better.
Yeah.
Now. So now let's do the backfield, y'all. So as right now, like you said, we don't know if Travis is leaving or not. Let's just say he's leaving, okay? He's going to Colorado. Let's just say he's leaving going to Colorado.
Right.
All right. Nugget is gone because he's going into the draft.
Yeah.
John Huggins I think he's in the draft. No, I think
Shallow gone.
I think it's his last year. Shallow, we don't now see that's the wild card. Don't know Shallow going. We don't know Shallow gonna go. We don't know. I'm just saying we don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying. But I'm just
We
saying.
got
I'm just saying
trust
hypothetical.
fund on the line.
I'm just saying hypothetical. I'm
Okay.
just saying hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Shiloh stays in Jackson, right?
Y'all not trying to go up in no mountains.
Yeah.
He in love with them girls at Jackson.
Listen, Shiloh gone. Shiloh got a trust fund at State.
Them girls love him in Jackson. He ain't
Yeah, I
trying to
know.
go up
My
in no
whole
mountains.
thing is when you say you got a trust fund at State, they don't need the trust fund don't need to say, well, Dallas Daniels gone because he was a grad transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So he's automatically gone.
What about
He
Rico
had
Powers?
his last season. This season was his last year.
What about Rico Powers and Davis?
Rico Powers had a couple of years left.
What about Davis?
Quay needs to stay at Jackson.
Right. So you got Powers, Davis.
Hey Doc, do you have
Yeah.
any idea what actual players are leaving, or is that hush hush?
I don't
Monday.
like
You know Monday.
You'll know Monday.
You'll know Monday.
Oh, okay.
Cause they'll come up like you said. They'll figure out where they're gonna find the coaches and stuff like the coaches and stuff like that. But so Katron Evans, I'm looking at on 3, right? The transfer portal. Katron Evans is going to Charlotte. So he got picked up by the Charlotte 49ers. I don't know about anybody else that went into the portal.
Big Country went.
Yeah, he went, but see, with Big Country, you don't know about Big Country. Okay, so yeah, Shiloh's in the transfer portal. Shador's in the transfer portal. They all going to Colorado. This already made up. Okay.
Told you.
So I was just saying, I was just playing hypothetical.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I was just playing hypothetical. But if I'm somebody like Quay Davis, if I'm somebody like let me go through the roster. I'm gonna go through the roster right now. All right, so all this is gonna get updated. Shiloh gone, Shador gone, Kevin Coleman, Travis name ain't in the portal yet.
He didn't?
He's not in the portal yet.
His name might be in the portal Monday.
Oh, okay.
Dallas Daniels gone because, like I said, he's a grad student.
Mm-hmm.
Nugget going to the league. Shane Hooks, he got one more year left. Do you stay or do you leave?
He said, I heard something that he was going with Prime.
He don't need to go. I think he needs to stay.
I think he should stay, which would boost his stock value. Now, John Lynch was talking to him, and Mr. Ford said John Lynch is the general manager of the 49ers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe he knows something.
Yeah.
Hey, John Huggins, he got John Huggins Jr., so I think he'll stay.
What about Stevens?
DJ Stevens, I haven't got to him yet. JP Andrade, I think he'll probably be gone.
Who?
Cam
is gone.
He's gone, but we don't know. He hasn't put his name in the portal yet. I think JD Martin, I think he's transferring. Quay Davis, like I said, he needs to stay.
JD Martin was the running back, right?
JD Martin was the running back. He had fumbling problems.
Gregory receiver.
Huh?
He needs to move to receiver.
Yes, he needs to move to receiver. I said, you know what? I said that. I said that early in the year.
Doc, let me ask you this, Doc. He fumbled one time, right?
No, he fumbled a
He
couple
fumbled
of
a lot.
times.
A couple times
He-
early.
Okay, I know I see
early.
him.
That's why
Okay.
Prime didn't put him back into Prime. Never
Right.
put him back into the game.
So that was asking you, do you keep a player out that long that fumbled, or do you give him a chance to redeem himself?
I'll say you give him a chance to redeem himself, but I think when he tried to redeem himself, he fumbled again.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Uh,
I know if you fumble with Prime, you out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rico Powers, he needs to stay. Willie Gaines needs to stay. Like I said, Travis we don't know yet. Grayson Thompson, he gonna stay because he's backup. He's the quarterback. That's Sunshine.
Oh yeah. He gonna
Malachi needs to stay.
Is he a sophomore? Sunshine.
Yeah, he'll
you
redshirt
never know
sophomore.
though, man.
Yeah.
I can see him leaving and dropping down.
Sunshine?
Yep.
They're gonna need him next year. They're gonna need him.
Malachi needs to stay. Trevante needs to stay. Peanut. That's Norman Douglas. That's Nuggets. That's Nuggets homeboy. He'll probably stay.
He graduated, right?
He graduated, but he still got he still got a year left.
Oh, okay.
Herman Smith, he needs to stay. I think Herman Smith loved being in Jackson. He loved being in Jackson. Of course, Shiloh's in the portal. Antonio Doyle, he might need to stay. Zay going to the league.
Who?
Zay Bolden.
Okay, yeah. That's a safety, right?
Mm-hmm. No, he's a cornerback.
Corner, yeah, the corner. The big corner, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell you it's the reason why I'm gonna tell you Kevin Coleman staying is official. Boris T. Meeks, that's Boris T. Meeks is related to Kevin Coleman.
Yeah.
I think that's his nephew or something like that. He already said that he's staying. Automatically. Okay. So that's confirmed. Now I'm just letting y'all know. What he said is confirmed because he's family.
That's a good thing because he established already. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's established, and he can become the number one wide receiver there. He earned that.
But you know what? But you know what? Seriously, like I think he is making an emotional decision, right? And I mean, what's best for him is best stuff for him. But as a receiver, you got to know who your quarterback gonna be.
You got to know that. But
you know what I'm saying? Like you stand and you don't know who your quarterback gonna be.
I think only reason I say that was a good move because they did show. Did you see the quarterback? His numbers and things.
Who?
They show highlights. They show highlights that he can throw the ball.
He can throw, but then like I was watching like his games, like a couple of his games.
Right.
He got a cannon, but he's not always accurate.
Well, that's the problem then.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? They can fix that though.
You ain't gonna be able to fix that as a starter.
But what I'm saying is, you can get up to the next level. Whoever the QB coach is, if TC works with him, they can actually fix. You know what I'm saying? They can actually fix the kinks in they can actually fix the kinks in your mechanics. So what I'm saying is that if you get up here, he gets here, and TC gets a hold of him. By no means, the mechanic's going to be corrected, and then you'll see him be better when it comes to being accurate, and also when it comes to throwing short intermediate passes too.
But Doc, listen, mechanics, you just don't fix that. Like that's like a process.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's easy to fix, but I'm just saying it is a process. So So when this guy comes in, and he's not coming in the fall, he's coming in the spring. He's going to sign next week to come in the spring because he wants whoever TC gets as the offensive coordinator, whoever he gets as a quarterback coach, he's going to want to come in and learn that offense off rip.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to. Yes, he's gonna have to.
Yeah.
You got to because
he probably graduated in January. He probably graduate this January from JUCO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or they probably had a graduation already. The graduation in December.
No, JUCO graduate in January.
January, yeah.
Your JUCO graduate in January.
Sy'veon, he got to stay. Sy'veon got to stay.
Y'all need him. Y'all need him. Y'all need him. But Doc, who was back? If JD Martin, who was backing him up? Marshall.
Marshall and Martin.
Was that?
Yeah. Marshall.
Santee. I think Santee this last time because he transferred. He might have a year left because he was a walk-on.
Correct.
When he first came in.
Correct.
And he probably stayed because if he got one more year, and he can probably help out and be better when it comes to receiving the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah. But I heard they signed a real good back, or they're about to.
Running back?
Yeah, running back. I think he's either 3 or 4-star. Running back.
I think if Coach TC can really put a message together to get some of them top transfers, that somebody can come in and help them right, like in say the offensive line, the defensive line, and certain skill positions, he could keep Jackson State as number 1 in the East in the SWAC. Now we see 2 years in a row that to compete with the MEAC, you got to have some real offensive linemen up front.
Yeah.
That's been exposed. That's been exposed 2 years in a row. But I think if TC really put a good message together, like you said, that you see Kevin Coleman came here. You see Travis come here. If he can put a message together, he can pull some other great players in to keep Jackson State moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because everybody going to be gunning for Jackson State. Everybody. Alabama A&M, Alabama State. Everybody going to want Jackson State next year.
Oh, yeah. To get back.
Yeah, Prime ain't here, but we still want y'all.
Yeah.
You know
it's gonna be interesting though. Like in the off season, like Prime had those not camps, but the like the USFL combine,
the combines,
those combines,
yeah,
SFL combines.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen up with that? Where do you think that they going now?
They're going to Colorado.
Exactly. So that's why I think like a lot of those kids, especially the older kids, are going to try to go with them.
But I think this is my opinion. If TC and Prime can get together, right, Prime can stir some kids into TC direction that's not going to make it in a Power 5 school, right? But they still can play Division I.
Okay.
And so many, they got over 10,000 kids in the portal. All them kids not getting picked up. There's going to be some talent. There's going to be some talent in the 2 and 3 star kids that can play, but they're not getting picked up. And what we see is, it ain't, don't get me wrong, the 5 stars and the 4 stars matter. But there's some kids who's not ranked that you see that today, they can play.
Oh, yeah.
We see that with North Central. They got some kids that can play.
Yeah.
So it's about opportunity. It's about giving that opportunity. And I think TC, I think he can put something together. As long as he got a good staff that can reach a lot of these transfer kids. If they want to stay competitive.
Yeah, that's true too.
You coming from an undefeated season, or undefeated in your conference.
Yeah.
It's gonna be,
Yeah.
is
But
what I see Texas Southern picked up, and Prairie View supposed to be getting somebody, Grambling. It's gonna be tough, man.
But check this out. My greatest fear for Jackson State, right, is
Mm-hmm.
another school that does the celebrity coach thing. Like, say, listen, if Ray Lewis gets in that league somehow with one of these schools, Jackson State, the run that Jackson State had is gonna happen all over again.
Yeah, but Ray Lewis he's not in tune with HBCUs. He's not in tune with the culture. Like, he's in tune with Miami Hurricane.
Yeah,
He's a
I get
consultant.
that.
Him and Ed Reed are consultants for the University of Miami.
Right, but listen, they also said that they want to coach in the HBCU space. Now, what's happening is, I think is that's going to be, if they don't find a way to pay those coaches to stay, that's going to be the starting grounds of coaches.
Listen,
because Ray Lewis is the ultimate motivator.
Yeah, but he's not coming to HBCU though, bruh. He's a consultant with the Ravens and with Miami. You don't think them dudes on the phone talking to Prime, what's going on about HBCUs, is going to see this documentary, how in depth it is about what's behind the scenes that's going on.
Yeah,
that's going to determine whether you get even more top coaches want to come that way, because we know Doc Primetime was already talking to Hugh Jackson, Eddie George, and Bubba McDowell about the issues.
Right.
They was talking about the issues.
But they still came though.
No, yeah, they stayed because they're in the contract. They didn't get another offer.
Well,
and had JSU had they gave Prime, if they would have constructed that contract right, JSU could have stopped Prime from leaving.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what?
Man, let's put it like this, man. That's another story. That's another target for another day, y'all.
I think Prime saw some things that he was like, no, I can't do this.
Oh, he did. He tell you this. No, he did. He tell you that. He said it yesterday. He said it last night through the news conference. No, he said it. What was going on? When one of the brothers asked him, one of the old gentlemen asked him a question. He said, "Let's let the cat out the bag." Yeah, he said it.
Yeah.
But Prime knew
like I said,
look at that.
Hey, that's another topic. That's another topic for another day right there. So we're gonna have to, because the white heat is
if you don't turn that thing off. Yeah.
That's what you're really saying to me too, for real.
Yeah.
I thank y'all for coming on the stream, man.
Yes, sir,
I thank y'all for rocking with me.
This was fun, man.
Man, we can do this again next week. I don't know what time. I don't know what day. Probably on Tuesday. That's my only off day. Yeah. Y'all gotta realize I work in retail, so
Hey, Doc, one question, Doc.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know my boy Byron Cole that was part of Kurt Franklin and the family from Fort Worth?
Who is this?
Byron Cole. He slept next door to me at Lamar. He started out with Kurt Franklin. Huh?
I ain't know that.
No. Yeah, he started with Kurt Franklin and the family. He from Fort Worth.
Okay, I ain't know that. Yep.
Yeah.
The wife is telling me, get off the damn stream right now. She just.
All right. She the boss.
I knew it.
She the boss.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble, man. Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah,
We're gonna do this next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Peace and blessings, y'all.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to the. All right, you too, Randy. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We try to get to 825 people right now for tonight. Then we're going to move up to 1,000. Make sure if you haven't done it by now, if you want to, you can drop a donation into the Cash App. You drop donation to the Cash App. We can get the Cash App going. That I will put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. So we'll go right there. So y'all see it is pinned. It's in the chat. So if you want to donate to the channel, anything and everything is good. It's all good. Special shout outs to Mr. Ford for coming on for the show as always. My HBCU historian. So when he come on, we're gonna have to do a show together as far as teaching everybody about the history of HBCUs, because I don't think a lot of people know the history about it on this channel. So I'm whatever he can, I'm gonna hit him up, and we can go ahead and do this chat about the history of HBCUs. Why we have them now? Why they're underfunded? Why they're this? Why they're that? So that's going to be a topic right there. I might do it on Tuesday Tuesday. Also, like I said, yeah, I'm in Dallas. I'm in the Triple D. Okay. Special shout out to Duncanville, to DeSoto, and to them boys off of 3601 South Marsalis, South Oak Cliff High School. Triple D stand up. They won state. Duncanville won state for the first time since 1998. DeSoto won state first time since 2016. And SOC went back to back. First in DISD history, a school went back to back in state title games. Y'all give them boys, y'all give them kids a round of applause. Y'all give the coaches a round of applause, because they put up one hell of a season, y'all. I promise you, they put up one hell of a season. Okay. Another shout out to D.I. Love Jackson State University. Yes, even though we did not get it done today, the season we had this year was unforgettable. The season that we had this year was unforgettable. And for all those boys that put their body and everything on the line to entertain us and to use their God-given talent to try to move up to the next level, me, as a football fan and as a J-State alum, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. Everybody here at HBCU OverDrive appreciates you. Even Lady Holiday, the wifey, she's appreciates you. Why? Because we about to send our damn son down there too. I'm just letting y'all know. My boy going down there in the fall. All right. Shout out to North Carolina Central University for winning the Celebration Bowl and our 2022 HBCU National Champions. I give y'all kudos because y'all played one hell of a game. Y'all had one hell of a season. And I know y'all gonna try to go back and get it again. All right. Celebration Bowl for having almost 50,000 people up in there. I don't know how many people viewed the game, but I don't know how many people viewed the game, but I know it was in some millions, y'all. So give a shout out to us. Give a shout out to us. Last but not least, I'm a shout out to my wife, Lady Holiday. Y'all see her in the chat all the time, most of the time during this whole football season, and she tell you you better like the stream or you better act right because she don't play. She's the executive producer of the podcast, y'all. She has been rocking with me with this thing since I started this in May. And look what we have done from May all the way up until right now. And I'm gonna be like my boy Aubrey Miller. This shit don't stop. It don't stop, y'all. It do not stop. I'm dead. You talk about PD Pablo, Central's mascot. I'm dead with you, bro. Somebody come get your mans right here. But man, look, it was a much anticipated game. I enjoyed the game. Even though we didn't come out on the winning side, I still enjoyed the game. Like I said, show on next Tuesday. We're going to talk about the history of HBCUs and why we need them and why they're here. Also, like I said, you want to donate to the Cash App, go right ahead. Make sure you hit that notification bell. First of all, run it down. I'm gonna run it down to y'all. She looking at me like, "Can't hurry up, though." So I'll run it down again. Make sure y'all do not mess with that kid, Hayden Hagler. He does not need to be bothered. He does not need to be harassed. He is a good kid. From what I'm hearing, what I heard, and what I see, on social media, he's a good kid. So us grown people, us zealots, you do not need to bother that kid. Do not mess with that kid like that. All right. You know what I'm saying? Do not mess with that kid. You don't need to do that. We don't want nothing to happen to that kid, because if something happens to him because people was bullying him from the jump after their game, it's all on y'all heads. It's all on y'all heads, and ain't nothing God can do about that with y'all. But it's all gonna be on y'all head. It's gonna be on your hands. So let's just make sure that we give him positive thoughts, give him good vibes, tell him how great he is, tell him that even though that was something that happened, you are still loved by the Jackson State community. And that's all he did. And that's what my boy said. All we asked you to play hard and stay prayed up. And that's what he did. That's all he did. I'm not going to lie to you. But as always, this is a HBCU OverDrive live post-game show, the actual last post-game show for the year. If they haven't done it by now, make sure that you hit the like button on the stream. Like this stream. Make sure you share it with all your people. Share it with everybody that you know. I don't care who your mommy is, your daddy is, whatever. Comment on the show, because I read everything. I read all the comments, and most of all, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get this thing to 1,000, because this thing's gonna get monetized, and I'm looking at big things coming for 2023, y'all. All right, I'm looking for big things coming for 2023. You never know. I might go live on New Year's Eve just to give a countdown on my phone. All right. But anyway, make sure this, like I said, this is HBCU OverDrive with Doc Holliday, where HBCUs matter. And as always, in the meantime, between time, y'all be blessed, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.